Hi everyone, please subscribe to my channel. Blood Immortal Venerable. See playlist for other chapters and novels. Join now our Telegram channel now and enjoy exclusive early access. t.me/blood_immortal_official. I do not translate the novels. Credits goes to original translator and author of the novel. I only make it as an audiobook so it would be easier to just listen while doing other things. Credits goes to the author of the novel. I convert stories to audiobook for mental health, for multitasking purpose, for accessibility and time saving. Listening to audiobook is also beneficial for people who have disability. It improves our listening skills and improve our English comprehension, vocabulary and other things. So, thank you for listening. Thank you and thank you very much for your support. Chapter 281, Negotiation Time. TL, Yu Yong. PR, Etude. HMPH, do you think your identity is enough to scare us? You have true gods on your side, but do you really think we don't have any behind us? Emperor Apos coldly stated. In reality, they didn't have any true gods backing them, but bluffing was still an option. After all, the Dragon Clan was unaware of their true strength. It must be said that Emperor Apos's bluff did cause Long Tionline to hesitate for a moment, but that was all. He believed that beings like true gods would not deign to participate in the struggles over a mere star. It would be beneath their dignity. Long Tionline, still with hands clasped behind his back, said, I'm not trying to intimidate you with my background. I, too, would like to spar with one of your 9-star Emperor-level humans. Do any of you dare to withstand 10 of my moves? 10 moves. Emperor Apos and the others were furious. Everyone was at the 9-star Emperor level, but Long Tionline's arrogance was astonishing, thinking they couldn't withstand 10 of his moves. I, Emperor Apos, would like to spar with you and see your capabilities. Emperor Apos stepped forward and declared. At that moment, Long Tionline extended a hand and gently reached towards Emperor Apos. This is my god-level claw technique, Golden Dragon Extreme Claw. I wonder if you can withstand it. As soon as he finished speaking, a golden dragon claw emerged from the void, covering the entire starry sky, and grabbed towards Emperor Apos. A god-level claw technique. Emperor Apos was shocked. To master a god-level claw technique, one needed a moonlight-level claw technique talent and also comprehend the claw Dao to at least 35%. Only then could one master a god-level claw technique. For instance, Yi Tian, with a 20-fold increase in comprehension and a 10-fold acceleration of time, plus the enhancement from the Enlightenment Steel, had not yet reached the 35% realm in claw Dao, and was still far from it. Yet, Long Tionline had managed to comprehend the claw Dao beyond 35% and even mastered a god-level claw technique. Such talent was astounding. The key was, Long Tionline's strength talent was also of god level. A god-level strength talent combined with a god-level claw technique, such synergistic effects made Long Tionline's strength reach the pinnacle of the 9-star level, just one step away from the legendary Emperor Realm. The Emperor Realm, for these external forces, was also a legend. Their planets had never produced an emperor. Only in the central region of the Milky Way, in the thriving human domains, could emperor-level and even higher, sovereign-level powerhouses emerge. Under the Golden Dragon Extreme Claw, Emperor Apos was struck and flew away, severely injured. But after the strike, Long Tionline did not attack further. Seeing this, Emperor Apos quickly activated a healing talent to recover from his injuries. I concede. Emperor Apos admitted defeat. If the 9-star Emperor level were divided into 6 tiers, with the first being the highest, he would be in the 5th tier, while Long Tionline undoubtedly belonged to the 1st tier. The gap between them was immense. Yi Tian watched Long Tionline, genuinely astonished by his strength. This dragon's power is formidable, possessing a god-level claw technique and divine strength talent. Setting aside my time and space talents, I would need to break through my physical limits for the 15th time to match him. Otherwise, without the time and space talents, I wouldn't even be able to react to, let alone dodge, his attacks. Yi Tian thought to himself. At this moment, he truly witnessed the power at the 9-star limit. Long Tionline's strength far exceeds those human 9-star emperors, but he did not dare to kill, probably fearing the hidden few. Yi Tian's gaze discreetly shifted towards a certain part of the void. He faintly sensed several presences, though they were not clear. But he was certain that there were people there, who had just appeared. Yi Tian did not use the Eye of Insight to penetrate that location. He had a feeling that if he used the Eye of Insight, while he could see those few individuals, they too would sense his presence. Yi Tian's guess was not wrong. The reason Long T Online did not make a move was indeed due to the fear of the several strong beings lurking in the shadows. Half-gods of humanity, huh? As expected, they have come. Long T Online thought to himself. A true demigod was not like the previous 9 lives cat emperor, but one who has successfully transformed their divine body or divine power, standing just one step away from becoming a god-level emperor. Such emperors are referred to as demigods. If they were ordinary demigods, Long T Online would not take them seriously. He could annihilate a group of ordinary demigods, even god-level beings, with just one swipe of his claw. However, the demigods in the shadows were not ordinary. They were demigods transformed from 8 or 9-star emperors. Such demigods were extremely fearsome, with combat power comparable to sovereign emperors, but were not worthy of the title of sovereign emperor. The title of sovereign emperor was not given lightly. It must be earned by reaching the power of an sovereign emperor without transforming the divine body, divine power, or divine soul. And he was striving for this title. freewebnovel.com. Yet, not having truly reached the power of a sovereign emperor, he was no match for those demigods. However, he had life-saving methods and was not afraid. If those demigods dared to make a move, he could always call upon the demigods of the dragon race who were in seclusion. In that case, a real battle would commence. He believed humans would not dare to start a war, for they would surely suffer heavy losses. Of course, he did not wish to start a war either. What do you want to do? The myriad fire emperor among the 9-star emperors spoke up. Long T Online said solemnly, negotiate, how about that? Otherwise, if this ferocious beast army behind me charges in, how many martial warriors and emperors will you lose? Fine, let's negotiate. The human 9-star emperors agreed. Then let's negotiate here. With a wave of Long T Online's hand, a magnificent platform appeared in the sky. On the platform was a round table surrounded by several seats. Long T Online sat in one of them. In the next moment, 3 beams of light appeared, condensing into 3 figures, unmistakably the projections of the 3 god-level dragon race powerhouses. The human 9-star emperors naturally knew these were not the actual bodies of the 3 god-level dragon race beings but mere spiritual projections with little power, a minor technique akin to projection technology in science. The 2 sides sat down to begin negotiations. As for the other human emperors, they naturally stood at a distance, watching. They were not worthy of participating in such negotiations. At the meeting, the myriad fire emperor spoke directly. Speak, what will it take for your dragon race to retreat? State your conditions. No, we will not retreat. Long T Online smiled. If you insist on making our dragon race retreat, then there's no need for this negotiation. The myriad fire emperor frowned and pondered for a moment before asking, then what do you want? Long T Online spoke candidly. First, allow our dragon race to enter Earth and occupy a territory. Second, tell us the real purpose of your forces coming to Earth. I've observed that Earth's Yuan Qi revival is somewhat different from other planets' Yuan Qi revival. Yuan Qi revivals are extremely rare, usually occurring on planets that have experienced a period of a strong cultivation civilization, leading to excessive absorption of Yuan Qi and the planet's degeneration. Then, after countless years, the world's power recovers, and Yuan Qi erupts, causing the revival. But Earth seems different. It definitely contains significant secrets. How about sharing these secrets with us? What secrets? We're just interested in Earth's resources, so we've been trading resources with the Earth's emperors. You can investigate if you don't believe me. The myriad fire emperor said with a laugh. Really, just for trading resources, why send so many great emperors, even 9-star emperors and demigods? 9-star emperors are considered ordinary prodigies in the galaxy. Why would they stay on a star for so long? Just for trading resources. Hey, you can come up with such an excuse. Do you think this dragon is a fool? Long T Online asked coldly. I think celestial bodies like planets are sometimes collectively referred to as stars. Leave some feedback in my Discord. Web links. Please consider reading at Chapter 282. A year later, The Secret. TL. Yu Yang. PR. Etude. The demigods were discovered by Long T Online. It was not surprising to several 9-star emperors. They wanted Long T Online to find out, to instill fear and prevent a war from breaking out. But Long T Online was not easily fooled. Several 9-star emperors began to discuss, even secretly consulting with the demigods. After a long time, the myriad fire emperor spoke. We have discussed and agreed to allow you to occupy a small area of Earth, but we won't allow too many dragons to appear. Only less than 30 dragons are allowed to stay on Earth. Moreover, we major powers have no secrets, so we can't tell you anything. Is this the result of your hours of discussion? Long T Online was very dissatisfied with this outcome and coldly said, if this is all you have to offer, then sorry, our dragon race does not accept. If you don't accept, then let's battle. Our major powers and Earth's native martial artists will join forces against you, using all our strength to severely damage your dragon race. I remember your dragon race doesn't have many pureblood members. If you lose some, it should be your dragon race that feels the pain, not us. The Myriad Fire Emperor declared resolutely. Oh, using all your strength. After hearing this, Long T Online laughed. If that's the case, then don't blame our dragon race. You are just a small power on the edge of human territories, while our dragon race is not. If we leak the situation on Earth, and if any top power gets interested and sends strong individuals to investigate, what if they discover something? I wonder if you can defend Earth. Of course, if Earth is just an ordinary high-level planetary world, then you might be able to defend it. But if not, then... As Long T Online spoke, the faces of the emperors turned pale, but they quickly regained their composure. How about this? Us dragons can occupy a large area, without a limit on the number, but must not initiate a war. As for Earth's secret, the Myriad Fire Emperor hesitated for a while, then finally said, Earth is special and will soon give birth to numerous wondrous objects, with a somewhat high quantity and level. Currently, the wondrous objects on Earth are from an older era, just regaining their effects under the influence of Yuan Qi. Regarding the existing items, we have not fought over them. Originally, we planned to harvest these items when they erupt in large numbers, but to avoid attracting the attention of Earth's emperors and the mutual restraint among major powers, we have been hiding behind the scenes and not making a move. Just as you guessed, the so-called trade resources were merely a facade. The Myriad Fire Emperor sighed helplessly. Numerous wondrous objects, so that's how it is. freewebnovel.com. Long T Online was moved. A world capable of giving birth to numerous wondrous objects was too valuable. No wonder these human powers dared not give up Earth and had been plotting for so long. If not for the threat to these powers, they would not have spoken up. How about this? You humans occupy the land, and us dragons take the seas, with no aggression towards each other. How does that sound? Long T Online proposed. Agreed. The Myriad Fire Emperor and the others consented. Negotiations concluded. 3 god-level dragons remained silent throughout, merely playing a supporting role, with the real decision-maker being Long T Online. Whoosh! Long T Online retreated, and the emperors from the Glory Pavilion and others also left, dismantling the array here. Beast World. As soon as Long T Online returned, Long Ao whispered, Prince T Online, how much truth do you think lies in the human's words? Long T Online calmly said, the emergence of numerous wondrous objects should be true, but whether there are other secrets is uncertain. However, one undeniable fact is that Earth is truly precious. After we enter Earth, we can slowly uncover its secrets. If there are other secrets they're not disclosing, couldn't we discover them ourselves? You're right, Your Highness. Long Ao agreed. Prepare to enter Earth's maritime territory. Long T Online commanded. Yes, Your Highness. A group of Emperor-level beasts responded. Earth Immortal Realm. As soon as the Emperor-level beings of the external forces returned, several 9-star emperors and demigods secretly convened a meeting. The appearance of the dragon race has disrupted our plans. Yes, although we didn't reveal our true secrets, the value of the massive amount of wondrous objects is immense. Once the dragon race gets involved, we'll lose a significant number of these items. We have no choice, we cannot contend with the dragon race. If the top human powers find out, we won't get any benefits, and our long-term planning will be for naught. We can't hide any longer. We need to actively enter Earth's main world. Anyway, in a year, the wondrous objects will emerge in large numbers. Appearing a year earlier isn't much of an issue. Once the wondrous objects are out, those dragons who benefited should leave, right? Let's hope they leave, then they won't know our true purpose. The emperors of Earth must also be won over. They are a strong force, and this generation of Earth's humans has great potential. In the future, we still hope to develop Earth into a branch world, establishing a sub-sect here and accepting many disciples. Yes, we should do that. Let's share the secret with the native emperors of Earth, as we can't hide it for much longer anyway. After a discussion, these 9-star emperors and demigods left. Zonghai Super Base. One day, the emperors of Zonghai Super Base were utterly stunned, witnessing projections of the dragon race, 8-star emperors, 9-star emperors, and god-level dragons. In the past, any one of these would have caused a sensation, but now they all converged together. In the blink of an eye, 3 days passed. The emperors of the dragon race entered Earth one by one and then the seas, avoiding conflicts with the human emperors. Everything was peaceful. That day, a piece of intelligence reached Yi Tian, revealing the secrets of the external forces, which they had voluntarily disclosed. A large number of wondrous objects are emerging. Yi Tian was somewhat surprised. Extraordinary items. Each item was extremely precious, like the War God Steel and the Enlightenment Steel. Tehi were both highly valuable 4- or 5-star wondrous objects. The Sakura God Tree was also a wondrous object. The War God Steel must be an ancient wondrous object born from Earth, and the Sakura God Tree probably also originated long ago, just dust-covered. After the resurgence of Yuan Qi, it showed the effects of a wondrous object. These precious items were probably overlooked by the external forces, or they would have claimed them already. It's not surprising, considering how weak and small the island country is, with no one entering the Earth Immortal realm. Thus, the news of the Sakura God Tree remained undisclosed. Yi Tian mused. Items like the War God Steel were ancient wondrous objects, and the Earth's wondrous objects hadn't truly appeared in this era. Their emergence was set for a year later. In a year, all the forces will fight over them, the dragon race, external forces, and Earth's native forces. It will be quite lively. Yi Tian was naturally interested in these items. After a year, he too would compete for these opportunities. But was this really all the secrets? The external forces revealed their intentions so easily, it doesn't seem like their style. If I could capture a 9-star or 8-star emperor and hypnotize them, I would know everything. Yi Tian suddenly thought. But for now, his strength wasn't enough, nor would he really oppose the entire external force alone. Once he reached the 9-star emperor level, he might start investigating these secrets. I'll wait and see, I'll know soon, Yi Tian thought to himself. Leave some feedback in my Discord. Web links. Please consider reading at Chapter 283, Threefold Weak Water. TL, Yuyong. PR, Etude. The external forces no longer concealed their existence, and naturally, Yi Tian saw no need to hide the emperors of Zonghai Super Base. Thus, he compiled information, integrating the existence and objectives of the external forces into a document, which was then delivered to the leaders of each power. Soon, the leaders of the various powers at Zonghai Super Base received the materials sent by Yi Tian. Battle Axe Mercenary Hall. The Battle Axe Emperor, looking at the document in his hands, became increasingly alarmed as he flipped through the pages. External forces, ancient civilization sects. Only now did the Battle Axe Emperor realize the origins of those emperors he encountered that day. They were not emperors from Earth but from ancient civilization sects that had once again come to Earth, though they had been hiding in the world of Earth Immortals. The document also revealed the purpose of these ancient civilization sects, seeking wondrous objects. So, Earth is about to produce a large number of wondrous objects. What a great opportunity, thought the Battle Axe Emperor excitedly. He had just broken through his 4th physical limit not long ago, but he was well aware that his talent was not high, with a mere moonlight level cultivation talent. If nothing unexpected happened, he would only reach the Emperor level in this lifetime. Moreover, lacking mystic level attribute talent and relying only on Yuan Qi to temper his body, it was difficult for him to break through physical limits. But if he could obtain 1 or 2 wondrous objects, he could rise completely and even hope to break through several physical limits in a short time, potentially breaking his 10th physical limit in the near future. Once he broke through his 10th physical limit, his strength would increase many times over, making him a 4 or 5-star emperor level powerhouse. Wondrous objects, I must compete for them. The Battle Axe Emperor clenched his fists, determined. Many emperors shared his thoughts, but how many emperors were there on Earth? Moreover, with the powerful external forces, their chances of obtaining wondrous objects were slim, and death was a more likely outcome. However, before a great opportunity, everyone is irrational, including the Battle Axe Emperor. Meanwhile, the emperors of the external forces were no longer confined to the Earth Immortal realm and began descending to Earth one after another. Then, they made a startling decision, to establish super bases. Consequently, super bases of external forces appeared worldwide, each typically having 1 or even more 7-star emperor-level powerhouses in charge. Additionally, these external forces brought many martial warriors from the Earth Immortal realm, increasing the numbers in these super bases. The super bases of the external forces soon issued a notice that affected many super bases. The notice announced that the newly established super bases welcomed all martial warriors and emperors to join. This completely shocked the world. For a while, many emperors left their super bases and chose to join the super bases established by the external forces, with some even bringing their entire forces. In the eyes of these emperors, the external forces were very powerful, and the superbases they established had more prospects. However, could they really become important to the external forces? More likely, they were just being used. Tian Pavilion. The battle-axe emperor came before Yi Tian and reported, Heavenly Emperor of 10,000 laws, our Zonghai super base has 7 emperors, 83 saints, and over 1,000 grand masters who have left to join the Tongyuan super base by now. The Tongyuan super base, established by external forces, was led by an 8-star emperor-level powerhouse named the Tongyuan Emperor, who was also backed by a 9-star emperor-level powerhouse. The Tongyuan super base, located within the Huasha region, had attracted many warriors from other super bases in Huasha after announcing its recruitment, and some from Zonghai super base were no exception. Battle-axe Emperor, won't you join them? Asked Yi Tian. The battle-axe Emperor smiled and said, I've only just reached the 2-star emperor level. An emperor like me won't be valued much. Even if I join the Tongyuan super base, what then? I would still have to rely on myself. My status in Zonghai super base is high, second only to the Heavenly Emperor of 10,000 laws and Empress Yu. Moreover, I manage many aspects of Zonghai super base. Why would I demean myself under the external forces as a minor figure without much authority? Better to be a chicken's head than a phoenix's tail. This was the thought of the battle-axe emperor. Battle-axe emperor, your thinking is quite good. It's a pity that some emperors are just confused. The external forces are indeed very powerful and are indeed interested in befriending the local emperors of Earth. However, they are unlikely to spend much to nurture these local emperors, as they have other motives. Those emperors who joined their super bases are merely serving them. How many can actually be valued and put to important use? Yi Tian said solemnly. You are right, Heavenly Emperor of 10,000 laws. Agreed the battle-axe emperor. Time passed, and the super bases established by the external forces announced in the virtual world a notice about opening a trade channel, allowing any martial warrior to purchase their items or trade treasures. This news excited countless martial warriors. They had long heard that the external forces possessed valuable items, and their resources could be exchanged for more finished treasure items. One such treasure, coveted by many emperors, was the boundary-breaking pill. The boundary-breaking pill could break the physical limits of an emperor, enabling an emperor to quickly undergo a major transformation and become a formidable existence in the eyes of countless emperors. Not long after, the trade channel was opened. Countless treasures appeared before all martial warriors, and many of them placed orders. The battle-axe emperor also scanned the platform for treasures, quickly locking onto the boundary-breaking pill. Originally there were 200 boundary-breaking pills in stock, but in a blink of an eye, only 100 were left, and the number was rapidly decreasing. To buy, or not to buy? The battle-axe emperor didn't hesitate and made the purchase. Clicking to buy, a single boundary-breaking pill consumed 1/10 of his fortune, but he felt it was worth it. Although using the boundary-breaking pill would damage one's foundation, making it difficult for even those with Dawn-level cultivation talent to reach the God level, he was only of Moonlight-level cultivation talent and had no hope of reaching the God level in his lifetime. So, he didn't care about the damage to his foundation. Strength was everything. Only by enhancing his strength could he have a chance to compete for more opportunities. Inside the Tian Pavilion, Yi Tian was also selecting treasures. Although he was wary of the external forces, he had to admit that they had many good items. For something like the boundary-breaking pill, he had no interest, but he was interested in some other items. For example, the threefold weak water. The threefold weak water was one of the water element treasures, similar to exotic fire, but in the water category. Sitting on the threefold weak water allowed emperors with mystic-level water element talent to utilize their water element talent to draw the power of water and temper their bodies, enabling them to break their physical limits faster. In other words, the threefold weak water is a great item to assist mystic-level water element talent holders in their cultivation. However, the price of the threefold weak water was not cheap, costing a total of 30 million yuan chi stones. I don't have 30 million yuan chi stones, I'll have to exchange for them. Yi Tian thought. Yi Tian was quite wealthy, possessing many valuable items. By trading some of them, he could gather the required 30 million yuan chi stones. Thus, in the next few hours, he took out some valuable items and traded them with some emperors of Zonghai super base and other super bases, eventually gathering over 30 million yuan chi stones. Then, he immediately traded for the threefold weak water. An hour later, an emperor arrived before Yi Tian, completing the trade with him. The threefold weak water was his. Leave some feedback in my Discord. Web links. Please consider reading at Chapter 284. spatial disturbance, entering the 9-star Emperor level. TL. Yuyong. PR. Etude. The cultivation room. Yi Tian's gaze was fixed on the threefold weak water. The threefold weak water, resembling a cluster of water, was very light, yet it posed a strong resistance. It was difficult to penetrate with hands, and it also possessed powerful corrosive properties. For an average martial warrior, encountering the threefold weak water would certainly result in corrosion and death. However, for an emperor-level warrior like Yi Tian, the threefold weak water was a treasure. Such a portion of threefold weak water should be enough to break through my body's limits once, Yi Tian estimated. But with his current pace of cultivation, it would take at least more than half a year to achieve this. Several months passed. One day, the yuan qi of earth doubled overnight, and due to the concentration of yuan qi, many warriors easily broke through their bottlenecks, leading to an increasing number of new warriors. The Tian Pavilion. Sensing the enriched yuan qi around him, Yi Tian murmured, "In just one night, the yuan qi has doubled. In another half-year, wondrous objects of the new era will begin to emerge. It seems this is a sign of the prelude." Undoubtedly, such changes were beneficial for Earth and humanity, but they also posed a challenge. With the increased concentration of yuan qi, the strength of ferocious beasts would also grow stronger. Overall, this was advantageous for humanity. Yi Tian evaluated his cultivation progress. After half a year, he should be able to break through the 11th body limit and would almost be able to comprehend more than 35% of the Claw Dao and master that God-level claw technique. Thus, after half a year, his strength would significantly increase, possibly even stepping into the 9-star Emperor level. Time passed, and Yi Tian was constantly engaged in cultivation and comprehension. On this day, Yi Tian hadn't made a breakthrough in cultivation, nor had he reached 35% comprehension in Claw Dao, but he made progress in the mystic arts of space. Free web novel. His spatial mystic art was at the pseudo-mystic level, requiring him to unearth new abilities step by step. Now, he had just entered the 20% realm of spatial mystic art. Initially, he had only developed the ability of spatial compression, but now he had acquired another ability. Spatial disturbance. Spatial disturbances are common, such as the ones caused by two Emperor-level warriors in full combat, capable of causing continuous spatial disturbances. However, the spatial disturbance ability developed by Yi Tian was vastly different and many times stronger than those caused by battle, incomparable in level. Lucky me, I only intended to improve the spatial compression ability but unexpectedly comprehended the spatial disturbance ability. Yi Tian was in high spirits. However, the spatial disturbance was just comprehended and had not been put to real test yet. The War God Ring, Virtual World. Although this virtual world wasn't as vast as the Glory Virtual World, it allowed individual use for cultivation, serving as a personal virtual testing ground, a privilege he didn't have in the Glory Virtual World. Therefore, for testing techniques, he would still go to the War God Ring's Virtual World. With a thought, Yi Tian entered the virtual world and arrived at a mountain range stretching for thousands of miles. Above the mountain range, Yi Tian hovered in the air. Immediately, he activated his spatial talent and employed the spatial disturbance ability. The force of the disturbance spread, causing the entire mountain range to crumble, turning into countless fragments, and the surrounding land within hundreds of thousands of miles shattered. Such terrifying destructive power made Yi Tian frown. He had only intended to shake the mountain range, not attack other directions, but the spatial disturbance had dispersed its force. This kind of attack would be a world-ending disaster for warriors below the Emperor level, but for the Emperor level, especially the strong ones, it was not too terrifying. Since the force was dispersed, an Emperor level could find ways to evade it. Such a technique was considered a failed one. However, Yi Tian was not too disappointed, as it was just a newly comprehended ability. With continuous improvement, this technique could become extremely terrifying. In the following days, Yi Tian spent 1 to 2 hours each day refining his spatial disturbance ability. Half a month passed. This time, Yi Tian returned to the virtual world to test his spatial disturbance ability. On the same mountain range, Yi Tian activated his spatial disturbance ability. The mountain range spanning 10,000 miles was engulfed by the spatial disturbance. In the next instant, the entire mountain range was shattered into dust, turning to ashes and vanishing without a trace. The surrounding area, however, remained unscathed, as if the mountain range had never existed. What terrifying power! Now, the spatial disturbance has truly matured. Yi Tian murmured to himself. Having mastered spatial disturbance, Yi Tian was in high spirits, his strength having increased further. As the year was nearing its end, various powers began to closely monitor every region of Earth, with emperor-level beings frequently seen in various areas. Meanwhile, disciples of the Tien Pavilion, dispatched by Yi Tian, had infiltrated various super bases. If any discoveries were made, they would report back to Yi Tian immediately. With the investigations of the Tien Pavilion disciples, Yi Tian could focus on his cultivation. With only 1 month left until the end of the year, Yi Tian's Claw Dao realm finally broke through. Phew, after such a long period of contemplation, and constantly using my time talent, I've finally comprehended the Claw Dao to 35% mastery. With the remaining month, I should be able to master that God-level claw technique, and my 11th body limit break is likely to happen soon. Yi Tian declared. Thus, in the following days, Yi Tian spent half his time cultivating the God-level claw technique and the other half absorbing the power of the threefold weak water to temper his body. On the 7th day, Yi Tian finally touched the shackles of his 11th body limit and easily used the threefold weak water to break through, successfully overcoming the 11th body limit. With the 11th body limit broken, Yi Tian's physical strength reached 20,000 dragon power, instantly doubling his strength. Inwardly, Yi Tian felt an epiphany. He seemed to have stepped into the 9-star emperor level. Without the need for testing or verification, it was a pure intuition. Intuition is not wrong. This must be one of the abilities of the 9-star emperor level. Originally, I was close to the peak of the 8-star level. Now, having broken through the 11th body limit, not only has my physical strength doubled, but other talents have also greatly improved, such as my spatial and temporal abilities. Thus, I've successfully stepped into the 9-star emperor level of combat prowess. Yi Tian reasoned. Entering the 9-star emperor level, Yi Tian was now among the pinnacle of strong practitioners. Although he was still somewhat behind the likes of Long Tianlin, a peak 9-star, he was not much weaker than other 9-star emperors. The key was, if he chose to flee, even Long Tianlin might not be able to stop him. 10 days later, Yi Tian finally comprehended the God-level claw technique to a beginner level. And this God-level claw technique was named the Great Tearing Divine Claw. With both God-level claw and sword techniques, Yi Tian, whether in close or ranged combat, had no weaknesses. His strength was not considered weak among the 9-star emperors. In a blink of an eye, the year ended, and all the emperor-level beings on Earth emerged from seclusion, all in search of rare items. On the side of the dragons and ferocious beasts, emperor-level beings also appeared. Over the seas, in the skies, countless emperor-level ferocious beasts appeared, all deep-sea creatures now tamed by the dragon race, forming their troops. In terms of numbers, emperor-level ferocious beasts far outnumbered human emperors. And at this moment, a piece of news emerged, drawing the attention of countless emperors. Leave some feedback in my Discord. Web links. Please consider reading at Chapter 285, The First Wondrous Object, Qinglong Wood. TL, Yuyong. PR, Etude. In Huasha, within the vast dragon frame forest, a shocking beam of light was discovered, piercing through the sky. For a time, numerous emperors rushed towards the dragon frame forest. Tien Pavilion. A disciple of the Tien Pavilion relayed the news, and Yi Tian received it immediately. Dragon Frame Forest. Yi Tian knew of this place. It was originally Shenlongjia, not sure if it's meant to be Shenongjia, a forestry district in his previous life. After the great changes on Earth, the Dragon Frame became the Dragon Frame Forest, expanding many times in size, ranking among the top few large forests in Huasha. Within the Dragon Frame Forest, there were many ferocious beasts, including numerous emperor-level ferocious beasts, making it a forbidden zone for many martial warriors. In the past, no martial warrior would dare to enter the Dragon Frame Forest, but now was the time when wondrous objects were born, and such an anomaly in the Dragon Frame Forest easily led to the thought of a wondrous object. The first wondrous object piqued the curiosity of all emperors, and naturally, Yi Tian was curious too. Let's go. Yi Tian made his decision. But he didn't bring Empress Yu with him, instead, he went alone. Empress Yu's strength was still too low. If he went alone, he could ensure his own safety, but bringing Empress Yu would make it difficult to guarantee, so for his wife's safety, he naturally wouldn't take the risk. The closest super base to the Dragon Frame Forest was the Chuanan super base. Yi Tian first traveled to the Chuanan super base using the teleportation array, then flew towards the Dragon Frame Forest. At the Dragon Frame Forest, near the center, on a mountain peak. One by one, emperors arrived here, and soon, hundreds of emperors gathered. The strength of these emperors varied, with some not even being 1-star emperors and others being 6 or 7-star emperors. freewebnovel.com. Suddenly, the void trembled, and a temporary teleportation array appeared in the sky. Then, one by one, Emperor-level ferocious beasts appeared, led by an Emperor-level dragon. The dragon race has come too. Many emperors were wary. This was a very powerful race, feared even by foreign powers. However, it was strange that the dragon who arrived was not a 9-star emperor like Long Tianlin, but a seemingly ordinary emperor-level dragon, not appearing very powerful. At this moment, Yi Tian also arrived. He used his copy talent to cover the entire field, checking the talents of these emperors, and quickly assessed their strength. Not a single 9-star emperor, not even an 8-star emperor. Yi Tian frowned. He soon understood. The first wondrous object to appear must be of a low level, which the foreign powers understood, and the dragon race probably also learned many secrets during the year, so they did not send a powerful dragon. However, a low level of a wondrous object didn't mean it was of low use. Some low-level wondrous objects were even more effective than high-level ones. The absence of 8 or 9-star emperors was a good thing for Yi Tian, as it meant he could easily snatch the wondrous object without revealing his full strength. Of course, the wondrous object had not truly emerged yet, and an 8-star emperor could still arrive. Boom! The mountain split open, and a huge piece of wood emerged from the ground, exuding an ancient aura. At that moment, the emperor-level dragon exclaimed in shock, "This is a 3-star wondrous object, Qinglong wood." 3-star wondrous object Qinglong wood. Many emperors were puzzled about what kind of wondrous object it was. Seeing that many emperors were unaware, the emperor-level dragon, holding its head high, explained, "Although Qinglong wood is only a 3-star wondrous object, it is incredibly valuable to some emperors because it aids in cultivation. Any emperor with a mystic level wood talent cultivating near the Qinglong wood can absorb its essence to temper their body and quickly break physical limits. However, it is of little use to emperors who have broken through their body limits more than 15 times. Additionally, Qinglong wood also assists in comprehending wood mysteries." Many emperors were immediately disappointed, as they lacked mystic-level wood talents. But Yi Tian was very excited, as he possessed God-level wood talent. In fact, he had all 5 elemental talents, all of God level, collectively known as the 5 elements transformation talent. It allowed him to use any of the 5 elemental God level talents, meaning the Qinglong wood was highly valuable to him. Among the emperors present, there were also many that had wood talents, making them very eager for the Qinglong wood. But at this moment, Qinglong wood had not truly emerged. The Qinglong wood was still shielded by rings of light, making it impossible to take it away at that time. This protective layer was a blessing from the world's force, and before the wondrous object was born, no one could take it away unless they could break Earth's world force. As the light rings dimmed, many emperors became restless, and an air of murderous intent pervaded the atmosphere. Before, they could chat and laugh, but once the Qinglong wood emerged, they would start fighting each other. However, some emperors chose to retreat, considering the 3-star emperor-level Qinglong wood not worth risking their lives over. Others decided to watch and wait, making no move. Suddenly, the light rings disappeared, and the Qinglong wood emerged. "The Qinglong wood is mine. No one else can compete with me." An emperor who was relatively close rushed forward immediately. At that moment, a claw extended outwards, turning the emperor into a cloud of blood mist. The emperor-level dragon had made its move. HMPH, although the value of Qinglong wood is limited, as the first wondrous object, our dragon race shall have it. The emperor-level dragon's aura enveloped the entire area, and other emperor-level beasts responded in kind. Soon, a fierce battle ensued. "Stop fighting over the Qinglong wood. I, the Golden War Emperor, claim it." The Golden War Emperor, clad in gold, made a dazzling entrance. The 8-star emperor-level Golden War Emperor, hailed as the strongest native powerhouse on Earth. His arrival immediately caused many emperors to retreat, not daring to compete with the Golden War Emperor for the Qinglong wood. However, the beasts, ignorant of the Golden War Emperor's reputation, attacked relentlessly. Courting death, the Golden War Emperor roared. Holding a long spear, he swept through the void. Boom! Emperor-level beasts were blasted apart by the Golden War Emperor, dying on the spot. In an instant, more than 30 Emperor-level beasts were annihilated. The Emperor-level dragon became fearful. It was only a 7-star Emperor, while the Golden War Emperor was an 8-star. A single star's difference meant an enormous disparity in combat power. The Golden War Emperor had strong backing and was not afraid of the dragon race. Scram! He thrust his spear, as if about to pierce through the Emperor-level dragon the next moment. At that time, A huge dragon tail swept across. Boom. The Golden War Emperor stepped back several paces, his gaze intensifying as he looked at a massive dragon that had just arrived, an 8-star Emperor-level dragon. 8-star Emperor. The Golden War Emperor became vigilant. Suddenly, 2 8-star Emperors appeared on the battlefield, and the other Emperors didn't even dare to come close. Suddenly, a figure surprisingly appeared beside Qinglong Wood. It was Yi Tian who had teleported there. Yi Tian grabbed the Qinglong Wood and quickly left. Seeing someone take away Qinglong Wood, the Golden War Emperor and the 8-star Emperor-level dragon quickly pursued. Qinglong Wood, being a wondrous object, couldn't be stored in a storage bag, so it had to be carried away. Therefore, truly claiming a wondrous object was not an easy task. Seeing the Golden War Emperor and the 8-star Emperor-level dragon pursuing, Yi Tian's eyes turned cold, and with a wave of his hand, space froze. Scram, or die, leave some feedback in my Discord. Web links. Please consider reading at Chapter 286, Wondrous Objects Emerge One After Another. TL, Yu Yong. PR. Etude. The Golden War Emperor did not recognize Yi Tian, and even if he did, he was unaware of Yi Tian's true strength. Thus, he paid no heed to Yi Tian's threat, a sentiment shared by the 8-star Emperor-level Dragon Clan powerhouse. The spatial confinement clearly did not intimidate the 2 8-star Emperor-level beings, who continued their pursuit. At that moment, Yi Tian stopped, activated his mystic-level power talent, and then executed a legendary-level sword technique, Starfall Slash. Boom! The Starfall Slash was unleashed upon both human and dragon. Such an attack was not quite on par with a 9-star Emperor level, but it was still considered extremely powerful among the 8-star Emperor level. Under the effect of spatial confinement, both the Golden War Emperor and the Emperor-level dragon were slowed down, unable to dodge Yi Tian's attack and forced to withstand it head-on. Boom, boom, 2 figures were sent flying, drenched in blood that scattered across the sky, clearly indicating their severe injuries. Having wounded both the Golden War Emperor and the 8-star Emperor-level dragon, Yi Tian grabbed the Qinglong Wood and flew towards Zonghai Super Base. The Qinglong Wood was too large for Yi Tian to transport using a teleportation array, so he had to fly back. Who was he? The Golden War Emperor, clutching his chest in shock, wondered. His moonlight-level armor was now slashed open, revealing a sword mark that nearly pierced through his body. That single strike had seriously injured him. Although not life-threatening, a few more attacks like that, and he might not survive. A peak 8-star Emperor, concluded the Golden War Emperor. Had his opponent been just an ordinary 8-star Emperor, he might have contested for the first wondrous object, but facing someone evidently stronger, why should he bother? A 3-star wondrous object was not of high value and not worth risking his life over, especially when dignity was less important than survival. The Golden War Emperor left, and the injured Emperor-level dragon had no choice but to do the same, not daring to pursue Yi Tian any further. Whether it was external forces, the Dragon Clan, or other Emperor-level beings, there was an unwritten rule: whoever genuinely seized a wondrous object should not be covertly pursued afterward. Of course, this only applied to ordinary wondrous objects. For truly precious ones, who would adhere to such a rule? Though, Yi Tian could easily protect 3-star wondrous objects. Having demonstrated his 8-star Emperor-level strength, neither external forces nor the Dragon Clan dared to underestimate him, and they wouldn't bother over a mere 3-star wondrous object. If they were truly tempted by a 3-star wondrous object, more than just 2 8-star Emperors would have shown up. Those 2 were acting on their own. Yi Tian quickly returned to Zonghai Super Base. At the Tian Pavilion, after returning, Yi Tian used the Qinglong Wood as a pillar to support the underground space of the Tian Pavilion. Moreover, he created several cultivation chambers around the Qinglong Wood, allowing warriors with wooden talents to come here for cultivation and insight. 3-star wondrous object, the Qinglong Wood. I wonder what the effect of refining the body with the energy of the Qinglong Wood will be. With some anticipation, Yi Tian began to cultivate near the Qinglong Wood. His god-level wood talent, transformed from his 5 elements transformation talent, was activated, drawing the energy of the Qinglong Wood into his body, rapidly refining it. Boom! Countless cells were tempered under the energy of the Qinglong Wood, rapidly enhancing his whole body. The effect is strong, even better than 3-fold weak water. Yi Tian was overjoyed. The Qinglong Wood, being about 300 meters tall and 10 meters thick, would not deplete much of its energy even if Yi Tian absorbed it daily, allowing him long-term cultivation. Time passed by. In the blink of an eye, Yi Tian spent 10 days in closed-door cultivation, making slight progress in his cultivation. Though, there was no significant advancement in other aspects. One day, the disciples of the Tian Pavilion brought news again: another wondrous object had appeared on Earth. However, due to its remote location in America, by the time the news reached them, the wondrous object had already been seized by an emperor-level being. That wondrous object was a 4-star wondrous object, the Wind Monument Stone. The Wind Monument Stone enabled one to comprehend the mystery of wind. It cannot be used to understand other mysteries. In terms of versatility, it naturally falls short compared to wondrous objects like the War God Monument or the Enlightenment Stele. However, in specific use cases, the effects of the Wind Monument Stone were far superior. For instance, comprehending the mysteries of wind near the Wind Monument Stone, as opposed to near the War God Monument, would yield far better results. Therefore, for those with wind-related talents, the Wind Monument Stone was undoubtedly a treasure. Almost every 10 days, a wondrous object would emerge, most being 4 or 5-star wondrous objects. Due to Earth's vast size, despite the availability of teleportation arrays, news often arrived too late for Yi. By the time he could respond, the wondrous objects had usually been snatched up by other emperor-level beings. In the blink of an eye, 3 months passed. Apart from the first Qinglong Wood, Yi hadn't managed to seize any other wondrous objects. One day, a wondrous object appeared in the island nation. The island nation had recently aligned itself with an external force. Thus, it was also aware of the existence of wondrous objects and had established top-tier teleportation arrays, facilitating travel to and from the major bases in Huasha, China. The treasure offered by the island nation was the Sakura God Tree. Although it was in a semi-dead state, it still attracted the attention of the external force. Otherwise, the island nation wouldn't have had the qualification to participate in the competition for wondrous objects. When news of the wondrous object arrived, Yi immediately attempted to use a teleportation array to reach the Sakura super base. But the teleportation failed. Lord Heavenly Emperor of 10,000 Laws, the top-tier teleportation array at Sakura super base has been shut down. Set a saint-level powerhouse responsible for maintaining the teleportation array. Go to the other super bases in the island nation. Yi commanded. After inputting 2 teleportation coordinates, both were found to be inoperable. Lord Heavenly Emperor of 10,000 Laws, the other 2 super bases have also been shut down. The other side has closed their teleportation arrays, making it impossible to teleport there. Said the saint-level being helplessly. They dared to shut down the teleportation arrays. Yi was furious. Clearly, the island nation intended to monopolize this wondrous object, as all 3 super bases had conspired to shut down their arrays simultaneously. Whoosh! Yi teleported away. Zonghai super base wasn't very far from the island nation, and with his speed, he could quickly reach there. Teleport, teleport, teleport. Yi speed was incredibly fast, covering millions of miles in an instant, pushing the limits of teleportation. Before long, he had crossed the vast ocean and saw the shores of the island nation. Invisibility, advance. Soon, he spotted an island nation emperor. Without a second thought, Yi appeared and hypnotized the individual. Speak, where is the wondrous object? Yi interrogated. In a valley 200,000 miles east of Sakura super base, the emperor replied. What evil deeds have you done? Yi asked further. Immediately, the emperor confessed all his misdeeds, some of which were particularly cruel. After listening, Yi was filled with rage. Soul spike. His soul talent struck, piercing the soul of the island nation's emperor-level being, who fell dead on the spot. Had the individual been a good person, Yi might have spared him. But now, being an evildoer and a member of the island nation, he showed no mercy. After killing the emperor-level being, Yi teleported away, quickly arriving at the valley. Fortunately, the wondrous object had not fully emerged yet. But at that moment, the area was already crowded with numerous emperor-level beings. The author is definitely controlling the narrative to be pro-China. But, it's reflective of history, which is important to understand. I forgot to mention, but Qinglong Wood means green dragon wood, but the green dragon part had no significance in the story, so I didn't translate it. Leave some feedback in my Discord. Web links. Please consider reading at Chapter 287, The Golden Paper, A Mysterious Wondrous Object. TL. Yuyong. PR. Etude. That is, Yi saw a sheet of golden paper, seemingly the most perfect thing between heaven and earth, floating midair, protected by layers of light rings. What a strange wondrous object. It's actually a piece of paper. Yi thought to himself. But wondrous objects are not specific things, They come in all forms, so upon reflection, this wasn't so strange. Undeniably, this wondrous object must be extremely precious, because not just one 8-star emperor level had come this time, but even 2 9-star emperors. Yi Tian had seen both of these 9-star emperors before. They were Long Qiqi and the Shadowless Emperor. The strengths of these 2 9-star emperors were similar. When they had fought each other in the past, both ended up injured and equal. And the Shadowless Emperor belonged to the power that currently supported the island nation, the Shadow Sect. The Shadowless Emperor was an elder of the Shadow Sect. Yi Tian, using his talent for invisibility, approached and then enveloped the whole area with his copy talent to check their talents. At that moment, Yi Tian was surprised to discover an additional talent panel. Invisibility. Yi Tian thought of this. The Eye of Insight. With a flash of light in his 16 talent eyes, he quickly spotted an emperor level hiding not far from the golden paper, his gaze fixed tightly on the wondrous object. And his strength was quite formidable. Human. Li Yun. Cultivation talent. Moonlight. Strength talent. Pseudo-mystic 70%. Defense talent. Pseudo-mystic 60%. Speed talent. Pseudo-mystic 50%. Dagger talent. Morning Star. Deadly poison talent. Top. Invisibility talent. Top. And Li Yun's cultivation had astonishingly broken through the 13th physical limit. With his talent situation combined with his talents, he was comparable to a 5-star emperor level powerhouse. Moreover, the opponent also had top-level deadly poison and invisibility talents, definitely a difficult emperor level to deal with, much more terrifying than a regular 7-star emperor level. This person must be an emperor level of the Shadow Sect, probably planning to secretly steal the wondrous object. Yi Tian guessed. Of course, a wondrous object was no ordinary thing, and their auras were hard to conceal. Even if one used invisibility talent to hide the wondrous object, its aura couldn't be hidden, otherwise, the invisibility talent would be too heaven-defying. Thus, invisibility talents were only used for surprise attacks. Once the wondrous object was seized, they would still rely on the 8-star emperor level Shadowless Emperor. Only if the Shadowless Emperor could hold off Long Qiqi of the dragon race, would Li Yun be able to leave with the wondrous object. It seems the Shadow Sect highly values this wondrous object. They probably blocked the teleportation array to prevent other foreign powers from snatching it. The Shadow Sect acting like this indicates it must be an extraordinary wondrous object. Yi Tian also became very interested in this wondrous object. He slowly moved into the valley, remaining invisible. He also prepared to snatch the wondrous object as soon as the light rings disappeared. The light rings will disappear, and the Shadowless Emperor will definitely try to stop Long Qiqi first, creating an opportunity for Li Yun. But they can't imagine that I, too, am lurking invisibly nearby. How can Li Yun's speed compare to mine? I have a 90% chance of snatching this wondrous object. Yi Tian calculated. Time passed slowly, and the light rings around the golden paper wondrous object gradually faded. Finally, the last light ring disappeared. The wondrous object, revealed. The wondrous object is mine. Long Qiqi roared, his enormous dragon claw seemingly enveloping the valley, reaching down to grab it. Long Qiqi, you won't get the wondrous object. The Shadowless Emperor thundered a palm strike, blocking Long Qiqi. The 2 9-star emperors clashed. And in that instant, Yi Tian and Li Yun both made their moves to snatch the wondrous object. However, Yi Tian was faster, grabbing the golden paper, stunning many human emperors and emperor-level ferocious beasts. Li Yun was dumbfounded. How could a seemingly foolproof plan suddenly fail? Where did Yi Tian come from? Invisibility talent. He also has invisibility talent. Li Yun realized too late. The wondrous object was already in Yi Tian's hands. Baka, kill him. Lol. One after another, the island nation's emperors formed a battle formation and charged towards him. Meanwhile, many emperor-level ferocious beasts under the dragon clan also rushed over, swarming around Yi Tian as if to devour him. Spatial distortion. Buzz. A terrifying spatial distortion spread out, covering the entire valley. In an instant, the bodies of the island nation's emperors disintegrated into fragments, and even kilometer-long emperor-level ferocious beasts turned into dust, all annihilated by the spatial distortion. In a breath's time, most of the emperors were dead, leaving only a few 7-star emperors and those at a farther distance alive. You're courting death. The Shadowless Emperor was enraged. Among the dead were not only the island nation's emperors but also those from the Shadow Sect. Especially the emperor with the invisibility talent, a treasure of the Shadow Sect, who was now dead by Yi Tian's hand. However, the Shadowless Emperor did not recognize Yi Tian, for Yi Tian had already disguised himself as a humanoid dragon. Of course, as he fought, his identity would eventually be exposed, as his talents would be revealed. Even if his appearance was different, he would still be recognized. But to deceive for even a moment was enough. This time, Yi Tian did not use his sword skills, as that would have immediately revealed his identity. He used claw techniques instead. Using claw techniques combined with the appearance of a humanoid dragon, he closely resembled a real dragon, except he lacked the pure aura of a dragon clan. Upon closer inspection, one could see the flaws. But in the midst of battle, Long Chi-Chi, bewildered, might not attack him. Thus, Yi Tian only needed to withstand the attack of the Shadowless Emperor alone. Great Tearing Divine Claw. Yi Tian lunged with a claw. Boom! 5 cyan claw lights tore through, clashing with the Shadowless Emperor's palm strike. In an instant, the valley turned to ashes, and 100,000 kilometers of land shattered. After the strike, Yi Tian teleported away, pushing his teleportation speed to the extreme. The Shadowless Emperor chased after him, but every time he was about to catch up, a spatial confinement would descend, slowing him down. Accelerating again took time, and he was delayed. In a blink, Yi Tian was gone. Elsewhere, Long Chi-Chi muttered, "A humanoid dragon, who is that? There's no such person among the dragons who came this time. And he doesn't have the aura of a dragon clansman. Could he be fake?" No, the technique he just used was our clan's Great Tearing Divine Claw, a renowned god-level claw technique of the dragon clan. It's unlikely that humans on Earth could have our god-level claw technique. After much thought, he still couldn't figure it out. But even if he did, it was too late to chase after the wondrous object, as the other party had long disappeared. The mission failed, I must report back. Long Chi-Chi left. The few surviving island nation emperors were helpless. They had thought to assist the Shadow Sect in obtaining the wondrous object and share in the spoils. They hadn't gained anything, yet so many emperors died, not even leaving behind corpses. "Let's go back, I won't fight for the wondrous object anymore." One emperor level roared. Yi Tian's spatial distortion had thoroughly frightened him. He felt like an ant under such an attack. If he hadn't been a bit farther away and not involved in the battle, he would have died too. He was lucky this time, but what about next time? The other emperors were also scared and quickly returned to their super bases. It was obvious that next time the Shadow Sect asked for their obedience, they might not be so willing. Whoosh! The Shadowless Emperor returned, his face gloomy. Suddenly, a voice came. "Shadowless Emperor, your Shadow Sect is too unscrupulous, shutting down the island nation's teleportation array. Humph, you must have gotten your hands on that wondrous object, right? I'm very curious, what is that wondrous object?" As soon as these words were spoken, an emperor-level powerhouse appeared. The Shadowless Emperor looked over and saw it was an old acquaintance, the Myriad Fire Emperor. "Myriad Fire Emperor, I didn't get that wondrous object." The Shadowless Emperor did not want to take the blame and spoke the truth. Leave some feedback in my Discord. Web links. Please consider reading at Chapter 288, Portable Zoomy Storage Realm. TL, Yu Yong. PR, Etude. You didn't get the wondrous object. Could it be from the Dragon Clan? The Myriad Fire Emperor was puzzled. He didn't doubt the Shadowless Emperor's words because he knew the Shadowless Emperor had no reason to lie. Compared to their ultimate plan, these wondrous objects were just trivial. Even the most precious wondrous objects didn't need to be hidden. If they were obtained, they were obtained. There would be no infighting over them, as it would jeopardize their final plan, which no one could afford. So, if the Shadowless Emperor said he didn't get it, then he didn't get it. It's unclear. It looked like a humanoid from the Dragon Clan, but there was no dragon aura on him. Moreover, that guy is also a 9-star emperor, with space and invisibility talents. I couldn't catch up, the Shadowless Emperor said. What exactly is the wondrous object that your Shadow Sect is going to such lengths for? The Myriad Fire Emperor asked again. It's the Mira Sutra. The Shadowless Emperor gritted his teeth and said. What, that wondrous object? That's a 9-star wondrous object that once caused huge ripples in the galaxy. How could the Mira Sutra be on Earth? The Myriad Fire Emperor was shocked and even began to breathe rapidly. It's not the complete Mira Sutra, but a single page. The Shadowless Emperor explained, one of our god-level members in the Shadow Sect once brought back a small fragment of the Mira Sutra from deep space. It wasn't very useful, so we included it in this plan, using the world force of Earth to nurture this small piece of the Mira Sutra. Unexpectedly, it was a success. Just one page of the Mira Sutra is equivalent to a 6-star wondrous object, but its value is comparable to a typical 7-star wondrous object. A page of the Mira Sutra is also extremely precious. Humph, if your shadow sect had informed us or sent a demigod, it wouldn't have been stolen by others. The myriad fire emperor complained. Send a demigod, hee, if our shadow sect deployed a demigod at this time, wouldn't the dragon clan also send one? What then? The shadowless emperor retorted. Originally, the shadow sect's plan was perfect. He was to block the 9-star emperor level of the dragon clan, while Li Yun, using his invisibility, snatched the Mira Sutra. Who could have predicted someone else was also invisible nearby, leading to the failure of their foolproof plan? Alright, since the wondrous object has been taken by someone else, I'll leave now. The myriad fire emperor turned and left, quickly disappearing from sight. The shadowless emperor secretly gritted his teeth. This time, not only did they lose the Mira Sutra, but the shadow sect also lost face. He would surely be punished upon his return. Damn dragon clan, next time I see you, I must kill you. The shadowless emperor swore secretly. But it was just a thought. As a fellow 9-star emperor level, he couldn't really kill Yi Tian. After Yi Tian shook off the shadowless emperor, he teleported away repeatedly. Soon, he returned to the Tian Pavilion in Zonghai Super Base. Activating the array, Yi Tian entered the cultivation chamber and took out the golden page from his chest. The golden page unfolded, revealing mysterious characters. Yi Tian gazed at the golden page and quickly entered a world of characters. Countless mysterious characters appeared before him. Each one was profound. The Mira Sutra, this was the consciousness conveyed by the golden page. High-level wondrous objects contained a certain consciousness, through which one could understand the use of the wondrous object. Yi Tian's consciousness contacted that of the Mira Sutra, and he quickly learned the origin of this wondrous object. It's actually a page of the 9-star wondrous object, the Mira Sutra, just one page reaching the level of a 6-star wondrous object. Strange, is the Mira Sutra on Earth? Yi Tian wondered. But, the script wasn't from Earth. It was just a fragment and didn't seem like it was newly nurtured. Instead, it seemed like someone had left a fragment of the Mira Sutra on Earth to nurture, which eventually succeeded. The dragon clan loved to nurture wondrous objects. For example, the Enlightenment Steel was nurtured by the dragon clan using the world force of the ape dragon beast world. If I'm guessing correctly, were these wondrous objects intentionally nurtured by those external forces? Yi Tian suddenly thought, that's right, how could Earth suddenly produce so many wondrous objects? If they were intentionally nurtured by external forces, then it's not surprising. This page of the Mira Sutra is likely related to the Shadow Sect. How could Earth suddenly give birth to so many wondrous objects? If they were intentionally cultivated by those external forces, then it's not surprising. And this page of the Mira Sutra is likely related to the Shadow Sect. Looks like I must execute my plan now. I'm already a 9-star emperor. If I capture an 8-star emperor from an external force, I should be able to hypnotize them and extract some secrets. Yi Tian thought. After pondering for a while, he secretly formulated a plan. But, the Mira Sutra is truly a great item. Yi Tian looked at the page of the Mira Sutra, his face full of smiles. Because this page of the sutra recorded a secret technique, a complete secret technique, the Zumi Storage Realm Technique. The Zumi Storage Realm Technique was a type of spatial secret technique. Any martial artist with top-level spatial talent could cultivate this technique. Once mastered, it allowed the creation of a special Zumi storage realm. This Zumi storage realm was different from ordinary storage spaces. It can store living beings and even wondrous objects, whereas ordinary storage spaces cannot. The space of the War God's Steel in the War God Tower is a type of space similar to the Zumi storage realm. Ha ha ha, I was just worrying about how to store wondrous objects, and now the Zumi storage realm technique has been delivered to me. With my spatial prowess, it shouldn't take long for me to master the Zumi storage realm technique. Yi Tian was very confident in himself. In the following days, Yi Tian began studying the Zumi storage realm technique. Soon, he discovered that the Zumi storage realm technique had a certain connection with spatial compression. Without knowledge of spatial compression, it would probably be difficult to master the Zumi storage realm technique. It involved segmenting a piece of space and using a spatial secret technique to compress it into a Zumi storage realm. This Zumi storage realm can merge with objects containing spatial power or with one's own personal space, forming a portable Zumi storage realm. I can compress space, so I should be able to quickly master the Zumi storage realm technique, probably in no more than 10 days. Yi Tian guessed. In the blink of an eye, 10 days passed. On this day, Yi Tian went to the wilderness, looking for a secluded place. He had already mastered the Zumi storage realm technique. This time, he was going to segment space to refine a Zumi storage realm. The process was likely to be quite loud, so naturally, he couldn't do it inside the base. Yi Tian invoked his spatial power and deployed the zoomy storage realm technique, abruptly tearing a small, tiny rift in space. Boom! A segment of space began to separate sharply under the zoomy storage realm technique. The technique, like a scalpel, was cutting deep into space, separating a piece of space from the whole. In a short while, an immense space was segmented, temporarily separated from the rest. But this was just the beginning. If the space was not compressed in time to form a zoomy storage realm, the segmented space would heal back into the whole. Compress. Yi Tian exerted his control over the spatial power and the zoomy storage realm technique, furiously compressing the space. Crack crack crack. The space kept compressing, and a black dot appeared in front of him. The dot slowly grew larger. It seemed to be expanding, but it was actually shrinking, as the piece of space was separating from the whole. Half an hour later, a black hole appeared in the space in front of him. Soon, this black hole began to heal, much like a piece of flesh being removed from a body and then healing. This piece of flesh was akin to the space Yi Tian had now segmented. Boom! The segmented space was finally compressed into a zoomy storage realm, appearing in front of him as a small light orb. But this light orb was very unstable. Merge. Yi Tian controlled the zoomy storage realm to slowly merge with his personal space. Under his consciousness, he clearly sensed that after merging the zoomy storage realm with his personal space, it was undergoing a crazy transformation. By this time, everything in his personal space had been taken out, otherwise, everything inside would have been crushed into nothingness by the spatial power. A few hours later, the personal space finally completed its transformation and became a complete portable zoomy storage realm. Zoomy means something like, unreality in reality, I think. Leave some feedback in my Discord. Web links. Please consider reading at Chapter 289. Target, Bloodblade Demon Emperor. TL. Yu Yong. PR. Etude. I've finally created a portable zoomy storage realm. Yi Tian revealed a satisfied smile. Then, he began to experiment. He took out the Mira Sutra, which he carried with him, and said, "Store." The Mira Sutra vanished in a flash and was perfectly stored within the portable zoomy storage realm. Indeed, wondrous objects can be stored in the zoomy storage realm, making things much more convenient in the future. Yi Tian smiled. Immediately after, he stored all the items he had previously moved into the portable zoomy storage realm. However, he didn't leave just yet. He planned to refine another zoomy storage realm for his wife, Empress Yu. Thus, he took out a gray stone, a space stone containing spatial attributes. He intended to use this space stone, along with the zoomy storage realm technique, to create a zoomy ring. This would make storing items much more convenient. Some items that couldn't be stored in a storage bag could now be kept in the zoomy ring. For instance, if Empress Yu encountered a wondrous object in the future, she could naturally store it in the zoomy ring, keeping it hidden from others. Otherwise, carrying around larger wondrous objects would be too conspicuous. Half a day later, a zoomy ring appeared in Yi Tian's hand, and a tired smile crossed his face. Refining the zoomy storage ring was no easy task. It greatly drained his spirit and yuan force. Fortunately, he had broken through his body's limit 11 times, and his yuan force far exceeded that of a regular emperor-level practitioner. Otherwise, he couldn't have endured refining 2 zoomy storage realms. Whoosh! Yi Tian returned to Zonghai Super Base, rested for a while in the Tian Pavilion, and then went to the Moon God Sect to see Empress Yu. Lord Husband. YK in ancient China the man is the lord of the house. Empress Yu, busy with the affairs of the Moon God Sect, dropped everything and ran over. Yuaa, I've brought you a gift. Yi Tian joyfully took out the zoomy ring. Is this a space ring? Empress Yu asked with some confusion. This is a zoomy ring. Yi Tian explained, the zoomy ring is made by cutting off a piece of space and fusing it with a space stone. It's just like the space we live in, hence it can store anything, even wondrous objects and other special items. A zoomy ring, so there's actually such a treasure. Empress Yu joyfully accepted the gift. Why would she be polite about a gift from her own husband? Come, let me put it on for you. Yi Tian personally put the zoomy ring on Empress Yu, reminiscent of the time he put a wedding ring on her. At that moment, Empress Yu's heart was filled with happiness. Soon after, Yi Tian stayed at the Moon God Sect for a few hours before leaving. Empress Yu was very busy during this time, as she needed to handle many affairs of the Moon God Sect, otherwise, the vast Moon God Sect would inevitably fall into chaos. Several days passed. Yi Tian was ready to execute his plan, to secretly attack an 8-star emperor from an external power, then hypnotize him to obtain what he wanted. But this plan had to be extremely cautious. Any mistake, and he would be in trouble. Among the external forces, there must be demigods stronger than 9-star emperor-level practitioners. These demigods, transformed from 8 or 9-star emperors, had strength many times more terrifying than some god-level beings. Thus, once he was exposed, he might attract the pursuit of demigods. Yi Tian had already decided on his target. He planned to strike at the Shadow Sect, and had chosen a particular 8-star emperor-level practitioner from them, the Blood Blade Demon Emperor. From the title alone, the Blood Blade Demon Emperor seemed formidable, and indeed he was. The Blood Blade Demon Emperor had a great reputation, earned through slaughter. In several previous battles for wondrous objects, he had killed many emperor-level beasts, even claiming the lives of 3 members of the dragon race. For this reason, the dragons harbored deep hatred towards the Blood Blade Demon Emperor. Yi Tian still planned to disguise himself as a dragon to attack the Demon Emperor, making it a reasonable frame up against the dragons. Of course, his choice of the Blood Blade Demon Emperor was also because the latter wasn't currently in the Earth Immortal realm, nor in Earth's native world, but in a ferocious beast world. The ferocious beast world and Earth were on 2 different planetary worlds, making information transmission and calling for reinforcements inconvenient. Yi Tian knew of the Blood Blade Demon Emperor's whereabouts because many warriors from the Tian Pavilion were scattered across various super bases, secretly tracking the movements of all emperor-level beings. The Blood Blade Demon Emperor's fame was so great that his entrance into a ferocious beast world was widely reported. Blood Blade Demon Emperor, it's you. Yi Tian first disguised himself as an unfamiliar emperor-level practitioner, then traveled through teleportation arrays, finally arriving at Oye's super base in the northern Bear Country region. Nowadays, the super bases of various countries, under the influence of external forces, had interconnected their teleportation arrays. Since the technology of top-level teleportation arrays was provided by external forces, and many countries' super bases were established with support from these forces, they naturally wouldn't refuse their proposals. Moreover, interconnecting teleportation arrays was beneficial for all super bases, so why refuse? Whoosh! Stepping out of Oye's super base, Yi Tian saw many blonde-haired, blue-eyed humans. His arrival didn't attract much attention, as super bases housed all sorts of people. Even in Oye's super base, there was no shortage of people from the east. Moreover, as an emperor-level practitioner, Yi Tian was not someone ordinary people would dare to gossip about. Oye's super base was also responsible for guarding a 5-star spatial rift. This rift led to the ice and snow ferocious beast world, named so because it was always covered in ice and snow, and the ferocious beasts within were mainly of the ice, water, and snow types. Yi Tian didn't rush into the ice and snow ferocious beast world. As he wasn't an emperor of the external forces, entering other super bases, ferocious beast worlds would be overstepping boundaries. freewebnovel.com. The Blood Blade Demon Emperor, being an emperor-level practitioner of the Shadow Sect, had privileges and couldn't be stopped by warriors of Oye super base. But as an emperor-level practitioner from Zonghai super base in Huxia, entering the ice and snow ferocious beast world was out of the question. Unless Oye's super base couldn't withstand a ferocious beast onslaught and called for help. However, Yi Tian had his ways. He easily hypnotized an emperor who was evil, disguised himself as an emperor-level ferocious beast, and followed him, smoothly entering the ice and snow ferocious beast world. Not long after, deep in the ice and snow ferocious beast world, Yi Tian reverted from his disguised state to his original form, killing the emperor-level practitioner from Oye's super base to prevent his own information from leaking. Next, he began to search for the Blood Blade Demon Emperor. The Blood Blade Demon Emperor would be easy to recognize, dressed in a blood robe and wielding a blood blade weapon. However, given the vast size of the ferocious beast world, searching alone would probably be slow. So, Yi Tian used his contract talent to make contracts with a bunch of emperor-level ferocious beasts, having them disperse to help him find the Blood Blade Demon Emperor. Time passed, and the next day, one of the emperor-level ferocious beasts returned. Master, we found the Blood Blade Demon Emperor. The emperor-level ferocious beast reported. Yi Tian stood up, a smile on his face. Found him, huh? That's great. Leave some feedback in my Discord. Web links. Please consider reading at Chapter 290, Yuan Realm. Chaos Yuan Qi. TL, Yuyong. PR. Etude. Lead the way. Yi Tian commanded the emperor-level ferocious beast. Yes, master. The emperor-level ferocious beast flew towards a direction, with Yi Tian following behind. After a long time, the Emperor-level ferocious beast finally arrived at an ice lake, which was completely dried up, devoid of both water and ice. The surrounding earth was also shattered into countless pieces. Clearly, a great battle had just taken place here. Master, that person was just fighting with many Emperor-level ferocious beasts right here. I saw it and immediately came to report. The Emperor-level ferocious beast explained in fear. I understand. Yi Tian nodded. The Blood Blade Demon Emperor had just slaughtered a group of Emperor-level ferocious beasts here. However, the killing was too swift, causing this Emperor-level ferocious beast to bring him here a step too late. However, I still caught your scent. Blood Blade Demon Emperor, you can't escape. Yi Tian activated his tracking talent and began tracking with a wisp of the Blood Blade Demon Emperor's scent. As for those controlled Emperor-level ferocious beasts, he let them all go, without killing them. This ferocious beast world was not in Zonghai Super Base, it was the warriors from Oye Super Base who were in charge of guarding it, and he had no obligation to kill ferocious beasts for the warriors of Oye Super Base. His only purpose in coming here was to capture the Blood Blade Demon Emperor. Swoosh! Yi Tian did not conceal his speed and pursued the Blood Blade Demon Emperor. At the moment, he had disguised himself as a humanoid dragon race powerhouse. Soon, Yi Tian sensed the aura of the Blood Blade Demon Emperor. Similarly, the Blood Blade Demon Emperor also sensed Yi Tian's arrival. In the distance, the Blood Blade Demon Emperor stopped slaughtering the group of Emperor-level ferocious beasts and looked towards Yi Tian. An Emperor is approaching, the Blood Blade Demon Emperor muttered. He did not leave. As an 8-star Emperor-level powerhouse, he only feared 9-star Emperor-level beings. There were only a few 9-star Emperors on Earth, and those who could enter the ice and snow ferocious beast world were only 9-star Emperors from external forces. During the cooperation period, other sect forces would not dare to attack him, so he had no fear. In the blink of an eye, Yi Tian arrived. A humanoid dragon. Strange, why would the dragon race come here, and how did they evade the warriors and arrays of Oye Super Base? The Blood Blade Demon Emperor wondered, but then his face showed murderous and even excited intent. The dragon race is even better. If I can absorb enough dragon race blood, my demonic technique might be able to reach the major completion realm. I can use this opportunity to break through the 15th physical limit. The Blood Blade Demon Emperor laughed crazily. He came to the ferocious beast world to hunt ferocious beasts, collect their blood, and use countless ferocious beast blood to cultivate his demonic technique. However, the blood of the dragon race was many times better than that of the average Emperor-level ferocious beast. Previously, although he had killed a few Emperor-level dragon race, it was in public. He dared not collect the blood of those dragons, fearing that he would completely enrage the dragon race. freewebnovel.com. But now it was different, this humanoid dragon race had come to him, and killing him would go unnoticed. The only strange thing was that there was no dragon might or dragon aura on this humanoid dragon race. Perhaps he used a special technique to hide his aura. The Blood Blade Demon Emperor guessed. Die. The Blood Blade Demon Emperor made his move. A blood blade cut through the void, aiming at Yi Tian. His 8-star Emperor-level strength was unleashed. It was even far beyond the ordinary 8-star Emperor-level strength. His speed was very fast, so fast that a 7-star Emperor-level powerhouse would not be able to react in time and would be killed instantly. However, his expression suddenly changed as the space around him was abruptly frozen. Bees. The void vibrated, and layers of shock waves affected his body. Pseudo-mystic level space talent. The Blood Blade Demon Emperor's face slightly changed, the opponent's space talent was very powerful, even capable of hurting him. And under the spatial confinement, his prided speed was greatly restrained. At this moment, Yi Tian unleashed a legendary level sword technique, slicing off one of the Blood Blade Demon Emperor's arms with a swift strike. 9-star Emperor level against an 8-star Emperor level. Even without using God-level sword techniques and claw skills, Yi Tian could still easily overpower the Blood Blade Demon Emperor. Blood Explosion Technique. The Blood Blade Demon Emperor's body exploded into a cloud of blood mist, scattering in all directions. This was an escape technique. Clearly, the Blood Blade Demon Emperor knew he was no match for Yi Tian and was attempting to flee. Escape. You cannot escape. Time slow down. A wave of worldly fluctuations affected the small area where the Blood Blade Demon Emperor was, slowing down time tenfold. Under the influence of the time talent, the Blood Blade Demon Emperor's speed seemed extremely slow to Yi Tian. Spatial compression. Boom. The space continuously compressed, and the clouds of blood mist were pushed back. PFF'd. The Blood Blade Demon Emperor reverted to his original form, spitting out a mouthful of fresh blood. He looked at Yi Tian in terror, filled with immense fear. Who exactly are you? The Blood Blade Demon Emperor asked. You don't need to know. Yi Tian said indifferently. Then, Yi Tian activated his Soul Spike and Soul Spear talents. PFFT, PFFT, PFFT. The Blood Blade Demon Emperor's soul was struck hard repeatedly, quickly becoming extremely weak, reducing his combat strength to less than 1% of before. Hypnosis. Yi Tian used his hypnosis talent to begin hypnotizing the Blood Blade Demon Emperor. With his soul heavily damaged, the Blood Blade Demon Emperor was unable to resist Yi Tian's hypnosis talent and was easily hypnotized. Blood Blade Demon Emperor, I ask you, have you sworn an oath not to reveal secrets, else face complete annihilation? If so, only speak of what you can. Yi Tian inquired. He didn't want to cause the Blood Blade Demon Emperor to die on the spot by asking something he shouldn't, which would be troublesome. I indeed swore an oath. Once certain secrets are revealed, I can never ascend to God level in the future. The Blood Blade Demon Emperor said. Oh, if it's that kind of oath, then there's nothing to worry about. Yi Tian didn't care about the Blood Blade Demon Emperor's future path, as long as he didn't die now. So, Yi Tian asked what he most wanted to know. Blood Blade Demon Emperor, what is the real purpose of the Shadow Sect, Glory Pavilion, and other external forces coming to Earth? The Blood Blade Demon Emperor didn't hesitate to answer. The real purpose is the Yuan Realm. Yuan Realm, what is that? Yi Tian's heart stirred, realizing this was a big secret, and was thus full of anticipation. The Yuan Realm is a special space, or you can say a world. The Yuan Realm is extremely rare, even in the universe, and belongs to an incredibly rare spatial world. It's said that the Yuan Realm is related to very mysterious legends. Even I'm not clear on them. Many years ago, a Yuan Realm appeared on Earth. When a Yuan Realm is newly born, it nourishes the planetary world, reviving the world's Yuan Qi. But once that period passes, the Yuan Realm will absorb the scattered Yuan Qi, causing the planetary world to fall into a state of Yuan Qi deficiency or even a Yuan Qi-less era. Once the cycle repeats 9 times, the Yuan Realm would be fully matured, becoming a real Yuan Realm. Before that, it can only be called a nascent Yuan Realm. The Blood Blade Demon Emperor explained. What does the Yuan Realm have to do with your plans? Yi Tian continued to ask. The Blood Blade Demon Emperor replied, the Yuan Realm is very useful, and its greatest use is to temper the body, helping emperors break their physical limits. Normally, even treasures or wondrous objects struggle to help emperor-level martial artists break the 16th physical limit, let alone the 20th physical limit, and receive the universe's gift. But the core Yuan Qi in the Yuan Realm, known as Chaos Yuan Qi, can help emperors break the 16th, 17th, and even the 18th physical limit. Once a Yuan Realm is born, it always causes countless forces to battle, causing many sects to fall. What? The Yuan Realm has such effects? Yi Tian was truly astonished, finally understanding why the major external forces valued Earth so much, even plotting for so long. The reason turned out to be the Yuan Realm, and the so-called wondrous objects were merely incidental. Okay guys, that's it for today. Happy New Year's, and thanks for reading at LMAO shameless plug in aggregator sites. Please consider joining my Discord. Web links. Chapter 291, The Secret and the Death of the Blood Blade Demon Emperor. TL, Yu Yang. PR. Etude. After numerous inquiries, Yi Tian finally gained a deeper understanding of the various external forces in the Yuan Realm. Originally, during the ancient civilization era, various powers fought a prolonged war on Earth and their respective planets for control over the Yuan Realm. In that war, many sects were annihilated, such as the Azure Sword sect, which declined during that battle and gradually faded into obscurity over the years. Initially, the major sects intended to stay on Earth and find ways to accelerate the growth of the Yuan Realm, but they were unsuccessful. However, they discovered a secret. When the Yuan Realm spewed Yuan Qi to nourish the Earth, the power of the world would also surge from the depths of the planet. If treasures were thrown into these surging points, there was a chance to create wondrous objects. Thus, the major sects placed many treasures, leading to the current era of numerous wondrous objects emerging. For the major sects, this was indeed an additional harvest. When the Yuan Realm reabsorbed Yuan Qi, Earth entered a period devoid of Yuan Qi. The sects naturally couldn't stay on Earth to face extinction and, lacking a method to accelerate the Yuan Realm's growth, they reluctantly returned to their planets. Fortunately, these sects were all located within the same galaxy and swore not to reveal this secret. After returning, the major sects continued to study the Yuan Realm. Over 100 years ago, the powers devised a method to prematurely cause the Yuan realm to spew Yuan Qi, reviving Earth not just ordinarily but thoroughly. It was this thorough revival that caused Earth to expand to the level of a high-tier planetary world. When Earth fully revived, the Yuan realm's growth also accelerated. As the Earth absorbed materials from the starry skies, hastening its development, the Yuan realm benefited as well. freewebnovel.com. However, this growth was abnormal, and the Yuan realm would soon enter a state of depletion after its completion. Normally, the top powers in the universe would protect the Yuan realm if they discovered it, as it was a blessing for future generations. Once the Yuan realm developed naturally, if used wisely, it could sustain a power for many long years. But the actions of these major powers was like forcibly stimulating the potential of the Yuan realm, only allowing it to sustain their consumption for a very short time, possibly 10 or 100 years. This approach wasn't necessarily bad, as they wanted to benefit from the Yuan realm in their lifetime, unconcerned about countless generations to come. After all, it was uncertain whether these sects would even exist in the distant future. The most important thing was that this was their only chance to push their physical limits higher. To break through the 16th, 17th, or even 20th physical limit, becoming a child of the universe and receiving the universe's gift was a great opportunity that anyone would desire. Emperors like the Myriad Fire Emperor and the Shadow Emperor, who were at the 9-star Emperor level, could have attempted to reach the God level. But why hadn't they tried to break into the God realm yet? It was because they were waiting for the growth of the Yuan realm, waiting for this opportunity. All emperors with Dawn level or higher cultivation talents were waiting for their chance, with only those with Moonlight level cultivation talents resigning themselves to become demigods, becoming the protectors of this plan. The demigods of the major powers were forcibly elevated to 8 or 9-star Emperor level using various treasures and then transformed into demigods. Becoming a demigod was their ultimate achievement, achieved by turning their bodies into divine bodies at a great cost. Normally, those with Moonlight level cultivation talents couldn't become demigods, but special methods made it possible, something ordinary powers couldn't achieve. These external powers paid a heavy price to stimulate the emergence of a few demigods. After all, who with Dawn level cultivation talents would willingly become a demigod at this time? They had no choice but to proceed this way. Once the Yuan realm truly grew, the major powers 8 or 9-star emperors would enter the Yuan realm. Although it was unlikely to produce a child of the universe, the birth of several sovereign emperors or supreme emperors would mark the complete rise of their respective powers. It would even allow them to enter the bustling human star fields, becoming a major power renowned across the starry skies and leading their sects to become immensely powerful forces. This was the ultimate hope of the external forces. Furthermore, Yi Tian learned that 13 powers, belonging to 5 planetary worlds, had descended to Earth this time. Originally, 25 powers from 10 planetary worlds were involved in the plan. But over the years, some powers were annihilated, leaving only these 13. These 13 forces were all extremely powerful, each having at least 15 God-level powerhouses. For this plan, the major powers frantically enhanced the potential and talents of their emperors, depleting centuries of accumulation, thus giving birth to so many 8 or 9-star emperors. However, there were not many Dawn-level talents in each force, about 10 or so. Of course, even Moonlight-level Emperor Strongman had the opportunity to enter the Yuan realm, and though they couldn't become God-level in the future, they could become stronger emperors. The Shadow sect in this generation only had 11 Dawn-level talents, and the Blood-Blade Demon Emperor was one of them. Unfortunately, after today, with the death of the Blood-Blade Demon Emperor, the Shadow sect will only have 10 Dawn-level talents left. Yi Tian said indifferently. Die. With one slash, Yi Tian obliterated the head of the Blood-Blade Demon Emperor. Immediately, the Blood-Blade Demon Emperor fell and died. After killing the Blood-Blade Demon Emperor, Yi Tian returned. This time, he transformed into the Blood-Blade Demon Emperor and easily left the Ice and Snow Beast realm. Zonghai Super Base. Yi Tian returned without attracting anyone's attention. He knew the death of the Blood-Blade Demon Emperor couldn't be hidden for long and would soon be discovered, but the Shadow sect would never find out it was his doing. In the Earth Immortal realm, at the headquarters of the Shadow sect, the soul tablet of the Blood-Blade Demon Emperor shattered, and this was quickly discovered. Upon learning this, the Shadowless Emperor of the Shadow sect was extremely angry. Who dares to kill an 8-star Emperor of our Shadow sect? A meeting was convened. At the meeting, an 8-star Emperor suggested, I think this has to do with other sects. Although we all signed an agreement, there could be loopholes. Other sects might try to circumvent the treaty to act. The Blood Blade Demon Emperor was an 8-star emperor, only a 9-star emperor could prevent him from escaping. Earth's native world has no 9-star emperors, the strongest being only 8-star. Although the Dragon Clan has 9-star emperors, the Blood Blade Demon Emperor died in the Ice and Snow Beast realm, which the Dragon Clan likely can't infiltrate. Only people from other sects can easily enter the Ice and Snow Beast realm, so they are the most likely suspects. Correct. Another emperor added, according to our observations, the Yuan realm is growing rapidly, and the day of its full maturation isn't far. But this Yuan realm was forcibly stimulated, and its potential is far less than a naturally evolved Yuan realm. Once too many emperors enter, we'll benefit less, and other sects might want to eliminate some powerful emperors. The emperors expressed their opinions and argued. At this moment, the shadowless emperor spoke, before the matter is confirmed, we must not jump to conclusions. The Blood Blade Demon Emperor died in the Ice and Snow Beast realm. Check which emperors entered the Ice and Snow Beast realm today, and if anyone from other sects entered. The Shadowless Emperor, the only 9-star emperor of the Shadow sect, spoke with authority, and the other emperors nodded and agreed, not daring to contradict his words. After the meeting ended, the Shadow sect began their investigation. But they were destined not to uncover the truth. Chapter 292, Preparing to Leave, Eliminating Threats. TL, Yuyong. PR. Etude. Tian Pavilion. Yi Tian was pondering a question. Having learned about the existence of the Yuan realm, he naturally wanted to enter it. Otherwise, he knew he couldn't break through the 20th physical limit solely through his own efforts and resources. In the universe, there were definitely many geniuses with supreme-level cultivation talents. Many of them have better cultivation environments than him, but still couldn't break the 20th physical limit. If breaking the 12th physical limit were that easy, then the title of Son of the Universe would be too easy to obtain. Therefore, the Yuan realm was Yi Tian's hope for breaking through the 20th physical limit. However, the Yuan realm still needed some time to fully develop. According to the estimates of the 13 sect powers, it would be another 5 years before the Yuan realm fully matures. But once the Yuan realm matured, it wouldn't be easy for him to enter. He would have to confront external forces, and then he might face not just 9-star emperors but demigod-level powerhouses. The demigods sent by the 13 external forces this time were all transformed from 8 or 9-star emperors. Their strength was comparable to sovereign emperors, and he definitely was not their match. Moreover, not only did he want to enter the Yuan realm himself but also wanted his wife and sister to join him. For that, he must possess strength. If he stayed on Earth, it would be difficult to copy stronger talents, and his growth rate would be too slow. That was right, he wanted to leave Earth and go to more powerful places to replicate more incredible talents, increasing his growth rate. Only then could he have the strength to contend with the dragon race and the 13 sect powers before the emergence of the Yuan realm. He learned from the Blood Blade Demon Emperor that the Shadow sect was merely a 5-star level force. In the human territories, 5-star forces were just small powers that had just stepped out of their planetary worlds and into the starry sky. To be considered a 5-star force, one must have a god-level powerhouse. A true god-level powerhouse was needed to be considered as a 6-star force. Above that were 7-star, 8-star, and the legendary 9-star forces. Forces like the Glory Pavilion and Shadow Sect were simply too weak compared to the real top human powers. The resources on Earth, although temporarily sufficient for his cultivation, was not what he needed. His growth thus far hadn't depended on resources, but on talents. It had been a long time since he replicated a good talent. While he had collected some resources, his talent copying was being wasted. Copying talents was his foundation, other opportunities were just extra. That's why he wants to enter a broader sky to replicate better talents. From what I learned from the Blood Blade Demon Emperor, when Earth was still an ordinary planet, many forces built numerous teleportation arrays. On the Moon, they constructed an interstellar teleportation array that can travel to other planetary systems. Yi Tian thought. Earth was in the solar system, a tiny planetary system in the Orion Arm, a small part of the Milky Way. The Milky Way was one of the many galaxies in human territory, which together form a star field. This shows how small Earth is. The Glory Pavilion, Shadow Sect, and the solar system were only separated by the Centauri planetary system. The distance was not very far, but there were cosmic storms between planetary systems that made it very difficult to cross. Without god-level strength, one would be torn to pieces by these storms. However, the interstellar teleportation array could cross planetary systems, from one to another. For example, the one on the moon could transport someone to a planet in the Centauri planetary system. From there they could go to the Pula planetary system, where the Glory Pavilion, Shadow Sect, and other forces were located. The interstellar teleportation arrays in the earthly immortal realm are controlled by the external forces. The one on the moon was left as a contingency plan and is unguarded. I could use it to leave quietly. Leaving was easy, but Yi Tian couldn't just leave like that. His wife and the Tian Pavilion he established were here. Therefore, he must eliminate some threats, like the Golden War Emperor. The Golden War Emperor was a 8-star emperor, but there were no 8-star emperors in Huaxia yet. Furthermore, he once competed with the Golden War Emperor for the Qinglong Wood and injured him. If the Golden War Emperor came for revenge later, no one in Zonghai Super Base would be able to stop him. Thus, one day, Yi Tian disguised himself and went to the west of Earth. The Golden War Emperor usually trained hard in the War God Temple and only left when a wondrous object appeared. During this period, with the continuous emergence of such objects, the Golden War Emperor often departed. His departure point from the earthly immortal realm to Earth was the Western Aoshan Super Base. Yi Tian stealthily hid near Aoshan Super Base, waiting for the Golden War Emperor to emerge, planning to secretly track and ambush him. Since Yi Tian had already become enemies with the Golden War Emperor, having killed his son, he reasoned it would be better to eliminate the Golden War Emperor now than to face him later in a life-or-death battle. A day passed, then 2 days. On the third day, a figure flew out of Aoshan Super Base, turning into a golden light heading south. Golden War Emperor, you've finally come out. Yi Tian followed stealthily. Arriving at a deserted mountain range, Yi Tian revealed himself, using a spatial confinement to stop the Golden War Emperor. This time, Yi Tian didn't reveal his true face but disguised himself as a humanoid dragon race warrior. Dragon race. The Golden War Emperor, seeing the dragon race, became alert. What do you want, dragon race warrior? The Golden War Emperor readied his moonlight-level spear, prepared for battle. Your life, I want it, Yi Tian declared domineeringly. Without further words, the battle began. Soul Spike. A soul attack descended, annihilating a small part of the Golden War Emperor's soul. Ah! The Golden War Emperor screamed in pain, his movements slowing. Seizing the moment, Yi Tian activated his time talent, Time Stasis. Buzz. Time momentarily froze, and the Golden War Emperor's body seemed to be fixed in the void. Great Tearing Divine Claw. A god-level claw technique descended, grabbing the head of the Golden War Emperor and crushing it with a fierce squeeze. With a bang, the Golden War Emperor, utterly defenseless, was crushed by Yi Tian's move and died on the spot. What seemed like a long time actually happened in an instant. Killing a 8-star as a 9-star was too easy. After killing the Golden War Emperor, Yi Tian teleported away, erasing all traces of his presence. Soon after, he sneaked into a super base, disguising himself as an ordinary emperor and, after several teleportations, finally returned to Zonghai Super Base. The assassination plan was perfectly executed. Shortly after Yi Tian left, a 9-star emperor arrived. He was from the War God Temple's backing sect power, the Crazy Sect, also known as the Battle Crazy Emperor, one of the 9-star emperors. The Battle Crazy Emperor arrived at the scene, his expression solemn upon seeing the Golden War Emperor's corpse. He was killed by a claw technique that crushed his head. Strange, with the Golden War Emperor's 8-star strength, how could he be so easily caught? Could the opponent's strength have reached the pinnacle of 9-star level? No, it must have been some kind of constriction talent that immobilized the Golden War Emperor, allowing for a one-hit kill. The battle-crazy Emperor, not saddened but rather angered by the Golden War Emperor's death, saw the killing as a direct affront to the Crazy Sect. Search, he commanded. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Several black-clothed Emperor-level figures appeared, bowing in response, yes. Leave some feedback in my Discord. Web links. Please consider reading at Chapter 293. One of the 9 main planets of the Milky Way, Silver Universe Star. TL. Yuyong. PR. Etude. Yi Tian's assassination was flawless, leaving the battle-crazy Emperor clueless about who killed the Golden War Emperor. With the death of the Golden War Emperor, Yi Tian finally felt at ease. Thus, he announced that he would be entering a long period of seclusion. Many emperors were seeking wondrous objects and had no interest in Yi Tian's seclusion. Tian Pavilion. Yi Tian and Empress Yu had a long heart-to-heart talk. Yuaa, I plan to leave Earth for a while. Yi Tian began. To cultivate in the beast world? Empress Yu asked casually. No, Yi Tian shook his head and candidly said, I'm not just entering Earth's realms, but I intend to travel to other planetary systems for a period of time using the interstellar teleportation array. Empress Yu was stunned. She hadn't expected Yi Tian to embark on a journey through the stars. Caught off guard and panicked, she didn't know what to say to dissuade Yi Tian. Sensing Empress Yu's emotions, Yi Tian embraced her and softly said, "Don't worry, I'll be back in at most 5 years. Our lifespans are so long, 5 years is nothing. The reason I'm leaving is that progress on Earth is too slow. Earth will soon encounter an incredible opportunity, and I want to take you and little you with me. Therefore, I must gain even greater strength." He then explained the situation in the Yuan realm. After hearing Yi Tian's story, Empress Yu, unable to let go, said, "I shouldn't stop you, but I really can't bear your absence for 5 whole years, it's too long." Empress Yu hugged Yi Tian tightly, her face full of reluctance. "Yue, be good. Only by becoming stronger can we always be together. During my absence, don't seek wondrous objects or inquire about the Yuan realm. Just focus on cultivation here. When I return, I hope you will have broken through your 8th or even 9th physical limit," Yi Tian said, touching Empress Yu's upturned nose and pinching it. "I understand." Empress Yu gave Yi Tian a glance and then snuggled into his arms again, savoring the moment of warmth. Before leaving, Yi Tian left most of the resources he had collected with Empress Yu, even part of the divine talent elixir, keeping only some as a reserve for himself. After all preparations were complete, Yi Tian prepared to break through the thin membrane above Earth's sky, the protective layer of Earth, which only those with God level could penetrate to enter the cosmos. However, Yi Tian's attack power far exceeded that of an average God level expert, enabling him to break through this layer. There were many emperors on Earth capable of breaking this membrane, but none did, unable to endure the loneliness of space. Without proper coordinates and directions, one could fly in space forever without encountering a life-sustaining planet. Why then leave Earth? Yi Tian wouldn't have left if he hadn't known about the interstellar teleportation array on the moon. Great Tearing Divine Claw. Yi Tian unleashed his God-level strength talent and God-level claw technique, tearing at the membrane. With a rip, he tore open a few meters-long slit in the membrane. Yi Tian moved swiftly, passing through the slit, leaving Earth and entering the cosmos. In space, Yi Tian initially struggled to adapt, as he was used to breathing air and suddenly found himself in a place without any. However, he quickly adjusted. At his level, oxygen was unnecessary, and even food wasn't needed. He could survive indefinitely on his own energy. Swoosh! Yi Tian oriented himself and flew towards the moon. Soon, he arrived at the moon. Compared to Earth, the moon now seemed so small and fragile. Standing on the moon, Yi Tian felt he could easily shatter the entire satellite. His divine consciousness swept over the moon, quickly locating the interstellar teleportation array hidden in an underground space. Yi Tian used his Earth escape talent to enter this underground space and reach the teleportation array. After inspecting it, he confirmed that the array was intact and connected to numerous coordinates. However, many coordinates were dim, indicating that the corresponding teleportation arrays were damaged and unusable. Yi Tian selected a coordinate for the Centauri system, entered it, and then embedded a large number of Yuan Qi stones into the array, approximately 10,000. With a thought, he activated the interstellar teleportation array. Boom! A powerful spatial force pierced through the cosmos, enveloping Yi Tian and transporting him to another planetary system. 10 minutes later, the teleportation ended. Yi Tian found himself in a new place, dazzled by the sudden change. He was in a vast teleportation hall with more than one interstellar teleportation array. Stepping out of the teleportation hall, Yi Tian saw an incredibly bustling city. In the sky, various flying vehicles moved in an orderly manner. Dense interstellar tracks connected this planet, and in space, numerous cosmic ports harbored many spaceships. This planet's technology is really advanced, Yi Tian thought to himself. This planet seemed like a highly advanced civilization from a sci-fi movie, possessing high-tech advancements not found on Earth. The planet was also home to many martial practitioners. There were emperors, saints, and even god-level experts. Yi Tian, having used his copy talent to cover a radius of 100,000 li, sensed a dawn-level cultivation talent. How could a planet with god-level experts not have a dawn-level cultivation talent? However, this planet was merely a transit point for him, not a place for a long stay. freewebnovel.com. Yi Tian spent a few days on this planet, learning that it was planet G26 in the Centauri system, one of the 7 civilized planets in the system, with a few god-level experts but not many. Resource-wise, the Centauri system was quite barren, but it had trade relations with some powerful planetary systems and even had a rough space map. Yi Tian purchased a map, studied it, and finally chose his ultimate destination. One of the 9 main planets of the Milky Way, Silver Universe star. The center of the Milky Way housed a massive black hole, around which revolved the 9 main planets. These planets were many times larger than regular planets and teemed with powerful beings. Even God-level powerhouses dared not act recklessly there. Silver Universe star, as one of the 9 main planets of the Milky Way, was a coveted training ground for countless martial practitioners. But, not just any martial practitioner could enter Silver Universe star. Unfortunately, G26 was too insignificant to even know how to access Silver Universe star. Thus, Yi Tian stayed only a few days on G26 before using the interstellar teleportation array to continue towards Silver Universe star. After half a month and passing through 7 or 8 planetary systems, Yi Tian finally arrived at the Zawan planetary system. Zawan was a relatively powerful planetary system within the Milky Way, and Yi Tian arrived at its main planet, a high-level world, Zawan star. Zawan star was bustling, where God-level experts could occasionally be encountered and were not shunned. It was said that the rules of Zawan star had been altered by its master, allowing external God-level beings to enter easily. Here, Yi Tian finally learned about Silver Universe star and how to access it. Leave some feedback in my Discord. Web links. Please consider reading at Chapter 294, Arrival at Silver Universe star. TL, Yuyong. PR, Etude. There were many ways to enter Silver Universe star, but 2 were the most direct. To be a genius or a powerhouse. Silver Universe star warmly welcomed both geniuses and powerhouses. They could obtain the Silver Universe star identity proof and officially become a part of Silver Universe star. The so-called geniuses were those with high potential who have not yet fully developed, while powerhouses referred to those above the God level. Both qualified to enter Silver Universe star. However, many God-level powerhouses are reluctant to become part of Silver Universe star, as their status there wouldn't be high, unlike the comfort they enjoy on other planets. Those who truly wanted to squeeze into Silver Universe star were geniuses seeking higher achievements. At Zawan star, there was a Silver Universe star recruitment office for geniuses from various worlds in the Milky Way. On this day, Yi Tian arrived at the Silver Universe star genius recruitment office. The Silver Universe star genius recruitment office was an incredibly grand palace. Yi Tian paid a certain fee and registered for the genius assessment. The fee is charged to filter out those who participate in the assessment out of boredom. Otherwise, everyone would join, overburdening the staff. Come back in 3 days with this badge for the assessment. An Emperor-level staff member handed a badge to Yi Tian. Yi Tian took the badge and left. 3 days later, Yi Tian returned to the Silver Universe star genius recruitment office, badge in hand, and entered. Inside a splendid hall, many warriors gathered, including saints and emperors, but no gods. Only those below the god level could be referred to as the younger generation, eligible for the title of genius. Yi Tian stood in the hall, activating his talent copying ability to survey everyone's talents. However, a mysterious rule power suppressed his talent copying, shrinking its range to a very small area. 100 meters. Yi Tian frowned. Such severe suppression of his talent copying indicated that the array at the Silver Universe Star Genius Recruitment Office was powerful and contained terrifying rule power, far beyond the reach of forces like the Glory Pavilion. 100 meters is still usable. Yi Tian thought to himself. Whoosh. As soon as his talent copying covered the area, he thoroughly probed the talents of the warriors within 100 meters. Moonlight level talent, dawn level talent, dawn level talent. Most warriors here possessed dawn level cultivation talents, with a few having moonlight level. However, those few with moonlight level talents also had other special talents, like array master or alchemy talents. Those without significant talents wouldn't embarrass themselves by coming here. Yi Tian walked around the hall, examining everyone's talents, but didn't find any exceptional ones, not even a supreme-level cultivation talent. Clearly, supreme-level cultivation talents were rare in the Milky Way and not easily encountered. After about half an hour, a god-level powerhouse arrived. "Follow me." The god-level powerhouse spoke briefly and then left. The other emperor levels followed, quickly arriving at various teleportation gates. This is where you'll undergo different assessments. You've registered for the Genius Assessment, which requires you to meet Silver Universe Stars standards in at least one area, such as alchemy, array, or combat. Of course, if anyone among you possesses a supreme level cultivation talent, you can bypass the assessment and directly enter Silver Universe Star. The God level powerhouse explained. Supreme level cultivation talent. Yi Tian hesitated, unsure whether to reveal his supreme level cultivation talent. But after careful thought, he decided against it. Supreme level cultivation talent was not considered top-notch in Silver Universe Star. Revealing it wouldn't attract the attention of powerful beings. Moreover, cultivation talents were difficult to improve. If it was discovered that he had a higher talent than a supreme level cultivation talent in the future, it could attract the attention of some powerful beings. So, he definitely couldn't reveal his cultivation talent level. With my combat strength, I should be good enough for a successful assessment. Yi Tian thought to himself. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. One by one, the warriors entered the teleportation gates. Some chose the alchemy assessment, others the array assessment, but most opted for the combat assessment. Yi Tian also headed for the combat assessment. Boom. The teleportation gate led to a space-like area. Suddenly, a figure appeared in front of him. It was a humanoid puppet. I am Puppet Y 2364. Defeat me, and you will pass the assessment. A mechanical voice emanated from the puppet. Puppet. Yi Tian was familiar with puppets, but this was his first encounter with one that could compete with an emperor-level fighter. The assessment begins. As soon as the words were spoken, Puppet Y2364 moved. Its speed was incredibly fast, comparable to an 8-star emperor. It quickly approached Yi Tian, throwing a punch. Yi Tian didn't dare to underestimate the attack and instantly teleported away. God-level strength talent, innate sword body. Legendary sword technique, Sky Piercer. Yi Tian's sword thrust through space, striking the puppet. Boom. The puppet was sent flying backward, a 1-inch deep sword mark on its body, but it was not significantly damaged. Comparable to an 8-star emperor-level combat power. Yi Tian was quite surprised. He hadn't expected to encounter a puppet matching the strength of an 8-star emperor level here. If Earth had many such 8-star emperor-level puppets, they could easily dominate the globe. Suddenly, the puppet went berserk, emitting countless threads that even sliced through space, almost covering the entire area. Mystic-level defense talent, God-level iron armor talent. With dual-layer defense, Yi Tian barely blocked the attack, then unleashed a God-level sword technique, Starry Sky Annihilation. With one strike, the space shattered. The puppet's body completely disintegrated under Starry Sky Annihilation, turning into countless fragments. However, the fragments quickly reformed into a whole puppet. Just as Yi Tian was about to continue his attack, the puppet spoke, "Congratulations, you have passed the assessment." With those words, Yi Tian was teleported back. Wow, you actually passed the combat challenge. The God-level powerhouse approached Yi Tian, looking at him with surprise. Yi Tian also glanced over, using his talent copying ability to check the other's talents. Human, Yongpeng, cultivation talent, Dawn, strength talent, pseudo-mystic 60%. Defense talent, pseudo-mystic 70%. Speed talent, pseudo-mystic 60%. Array talent, moonlight. From Yongpeng's talents, it was clear that his other talents were quite ordinary. As a warrior with Dawn-level cultivation talent, he didn't even possess a single mystic-level talent. This person probably missed his growth period due to lack of good cultivation resources in the past. However, because of his moonlight-level array talent, his status is not ordinary, which is why he can be a person in charge at the Silver Universe Star Genius Recruitment Office, Yi Tian guessed. Responding to Yongpeng, Yi Tian said, "Just luck." Luck. This is not just luck. Previously, the combat assessment only required facing a 7-star Emperor-level puppet, but now it's been upgraded to 8-star because Silver Universe Star no longer needs 8-star combat geniuses. You defeated an 8-star Emperor-level puppet so quickly, you must be at the 9-star Emperor level. A 9-star Emperor level is barely considered a genius in Silver Universe Star. Yongpeng praised. Yi Tian chatted briefly with Yongpeng and then ended the conversation. Soon, the assessments of the other warriors were also concluded. In the end, only 7 warriors obtained the qualification to enter Silver Universe Star and receive the Silver Universe Star identity proof, becoming a member of Silver Universe Star. 5 days later, a special spaceship bound for Silver Universe Star set sail. Silver Universe Star, here I come. Yi Tian sat inside the spaceship, looking in the direction of Silver Universe Star and murmured. Chapter 295, Qingfeng Giant City. TL, Yuyong. PR, Etude. Yi Tian boarded a highly advanced cosmic spaceship, built by a technologically advanced civilization. Capable of space jumps, it could instantly travel from one galaxy to another, not slower than the usual interstellar teleportation arrays. Because of this, many experts in the universe preferred traveling on cosmic spaceships rather than using teleportation arrays. However, such spaceships were extremely expensive, and not every god-level being could afford one. After several jumps, a few hours later, Yi Tian and his companions finally arrived at a spaceport outside Silver Universe Star. After disembarking the spaceship, Yang Peng said to Yi Tian and the others, Silver Universe Star is purely a world of martial artists and lacks technological products. Therefore, spaceships and similar aircraft are not allowed to enter Silver Universe Star. Shortly, you will queue to use the spaceport's teleportation array to enter the interior of Silver Universe Star. You must handle your identity verification after entering Silver Universe Star. This is your proof of identity, which you can use to complete the process. Each person received a proof of identity with their basic information. Many people were entering Silver Universe Star, mostly natives who could come and go freely, regardless of their lower cultivation or talent. Being born on Silver Universe Star naturally gave them an advantage, whereas outsiders had to pay a significant price to become a part of Silver Universe Star. Soon, it was the turn of Yi Tian and a few others to queue for one of the teleportation arrays. According to the instructions, you can only be teleported to a giant city. Choose your city quickly, as time is limited, said an emperor-level official managing the teleportation array. A map appeared before everyone, displaying various giant cities. I choose Zongyang Giant City. I choose Pengyu Giant City. One after another, geniuses chose their respective cities, seemingly well-informed and without hesitation. Each giant city had its advantages, some were domains for alchemists, others for array masters. If an alchemist went to a city dominated by array masters, they wouldn't receive good treatment. Transferring to other main cities was out of the question. To use the teleportation arrays within the main cities, one had to be a resident of Silver Universe Star, and once you became a resident of a certain giant city, moving to another would not result in favorable treatment. For example, buying property or conducting business would be restricted. Therefore, choosing a giant city for the first time required careful consideration. Yi Tian, however, had no concerns. As a combat genius, any giant city would suit him. I choose Qinfeng Giant City. Yi Tian glanced at the map and casually said. He stood on the teleportation array and was instantly transported to Qinfeng Giant City. Qinfeng Giant City. This was an immensely vast city, its grandeur far surpassing that of Earth's super bases. With a population of 300 million, most of whom were martial artists, the number of ordinary people was very small. This is Qinfeng Giant City, huh? Yi Tian exclaimed silently as he stepped out of the teleportation hall onto the street, admiring the majestic buildings around him. At the same time, he was also somewhat shocked. The suppression on Silver Universe Star was formidable, and it wasn't due to gravity. In fact, the gravity of Silver Universe Star was only several times that of Earth's, which was surprisingly low for such a massive planet. However, this suppression could limit the destructive power of the strong. For instance, those who could destroy a planet with one strike on other planets might not even be able to shatter a mountain on Silver Universe Star. This was the planet's suppression. Clearly, the suppression on Silver Universe Star had reached such a level. This was a good thing, as without any suppression, Emperor-level powerhouses could destroy millions of miles of land with a single strike. If countless Emperor-level, God-level, and even true God-level powerhouses lived here, wouldn't Silver Universe Star easily burst apart? Considering the battles of the strong, main stars like Silver Universe Star had formed such suppressions as a means of self-protection. Despite the strong suppression, the concentration of Yuan Qi on Silver Universe Star was very high, more than 10 times that of Earth. In such an environment, cultivating would naturally be much faster. Let's go handle the identity verification first. When Yi Tian had just come out from the teleportation hall, he had inquired about the location of the identity verification office from the guards. Soon after, Yi Tian arrived at the residence's ID office, where he quickly processed his identity verification and obtained an identity card using his proof of identity. With this, Yi Tian officially settled on Silver Universe Star, becoming one of its members. In the following days, Yi Tian mainly familiarized himself with the general situation of Silver Universe Star and the basic information about Qinfeng City. Silver Universe Star was vast beyond imagination, roughly divided into 9 supercontinents, countless smaller continents, and innumerable islands. The size of these islands could even compare to some planetary worlds in the Milky Way. Qinfeng Giant City was located on Tianzhan Continent, one of the 9 supercontinents. Tianzhan Continent had 18 main cities, 72 giant cities, and countless ordinary large cities. Qinfeng Giant City was one of the 72 giant cities and held a decent status on Tianzhan Continent. But, in the grand scheme of Silver Universe Star, it was not very significant. Even so, Yi Tian did not dare to underestimate Qinfeng Giant City and even maintained a sense of awe. From the information he had gathered, God-level beings dared not act arrogantly in Qinfeng Giant City. Only true God-level beings could be considered strong in Qinfeng Giant City, and there were even existences beyond true God level. For example, the Lord of Qinfeng Giant City was a powerhouse beyond the true God level. Emperor-level beings were not much in Qinfeng Giant City, even 9-star emperors were only worshipped by ordinary martial artists and not considered important by the true powerhouses. However, sovereign emperor-level powerhouses were different, each being revered as a prodigy. Whether Qinfeng City had any sovereign emperor-level prodigies was unknown to Yi Tian, as he had only been there for a few days and couldn't gather much information. There are many true god-level powerhouses in Qinfeng Giant City, and each one must have supreme cultivation talent. Now that I have supreme cultivation talent, if I copy 2 more supreme cultivation talents, my own talent should be elevated to a higher level. Thinking of cultivation talents beyond the supreme level excited Yi Tian. On Earth, he would never have had the chance to enhance his supreme cultivation talent. But in a place like Silver Universe Star and possessing the talent to copy others' talents, he was like a fish in water. This place was like a dreamland for him. However, copying talents was not so easy. On Earth, his copying ability could cover a radius of 100,000 meters, but on Silver Universe Star, a strong force of rules suppressed his copying ability. Now, his talent copying range was limited to a 100-meter radius, and he had to slowly observe the talents of others. But he believed he would soon copy 2 more supreme cultivation talents, transforming his own cultivation talent. Let's check out the trade tower first. There were many trade towers in Qinfeng Giant City, and there was one in the area where Yi Tian lived. The trade tower was a place for people to trade and post or accept tasks. Even god-level powerhouses would visit the trade tower to trade items and post or accept tasks. Yi Tian's purpose in coming to Silver Universe Star was not only to copy talents but also to cultivate. He had to break more of his physical limits within 5 years, so he still needed some external items to assist his cultivation. And the trade tower was sure to have what he needed. Leave some feedback in my Discord. Web links. Please consider reading at Chapter 296, Combat Power Tower, The First Opponent. TL, Yuyong. PR, Etude, The Trade Tower. Yi Tian arrived here and saw a large number of martial warriors shuttling through. It must be said, this place was bustling and lively. Inside the trade tower were many shops and individual vendors, selling all kinds of treasures. For example, various exotic fires and attribute treasures were all available for trade here. However, Yi Tian soon found, to his dismay, that he could not afford anything. That's right, he couldn't afford anything. Previously, in his efforts to break through the 10th and 11th physical limits, he had almost depleted his Yuan-Chi stones and many other resources. Upon leaving Earth, he had left his treasures with Empress Yu and only took a few items with him. Thus, he was now quite poor. The universal currency of the Milky Way was star points, with 1 star point roughly equivalent to a Yuan-Chi stone. Of course, there were smaller denominations, but these were mostly circulated within planets. As Silver Universe Star was one of the 9 main stars in the Milky Way, the currency circulating there was naturally star points. After calculating, Yi Tian realized that the unnecessary treasures he had could be sold for at most a few 100,000 star points. The word, poor, perfectly described his current situation. It seems I must earn money, otherwise it'll be hard to quickly improve my cultivation level. Yi Tian thought deeply. Unable to buy anything, he started to scout others' talents, hoping to find 1 or 2 with great potential. However, supreme level talent was not something ordinary, and despite searching, he found none. He did, however, find quite a few Dawn-level talents. Although Qinfeng Giant City lacked technological products, it did have a Yuan Force network, which did not count as a technological product. The hotel where Yi Tian was staying also had a Yuan Force network, so he went online after returning to look up something. How to earn star points in the shortest time. Instantly, numerous suggestions popped up. Yi Tian read them carefully. One suggestion was to hunt ferocious beasts, as Silver Universe Star was home to native ferocious beasts, though completely no match for humans. If humans had not intentionally left these beasts for martial warriors to practice, they would have been eradicated long ago. Ordinary ferocious beasts were not valuable, but god-level ones were. Every part of a god-level ferocious beast was a treasure. Their fur could be made into high defense clothing, their bones into weapons of morning star level, moonlight level, and even dawn level. The blood of god-level ferocious beasts could temper an emperor-level body, making it a superb auxiliary treasure for cultivation. On Earth, Yi Tian had used ferocious beast blood to temper his body when his cultivation was low. However, after reaching emperor level, he abandoned this method as the effectiveness of emperor-level beast blood was minimal, and god-level beast blood was unavailable. But clearly, there was plenty of god-level ferocious beast blood on Silver Universe Star. However, this method was not suitable for Yi Tian, as it was too slow. Another suggestion was to take on missions. Completing a difficult mission would yield rich rewards. But Yi Tian also discarded this idea, mainly because some missions took too long. He had less than 5 years left and needed to increase his cultivation by several minor levels within this time. Going through various proposals, one caught Yi Tian's attention. Combat Power Tower. The Combat Power Tower was a place for challenges and a good way to earn star points, but one could also lose everything if not careful. The tower randomly assigned an opponent. Defeating the opponent meant earning a certain number of star points, paid by the opponent. The more consecutive wins, the more star points earned. If one kept winning, the earned star points could be astronomical. But in reality, it was impossible, as if someone became truly invincible in combat, others could choose not to fight, thereby stopping the continuation of earning star points. Combat Power Tower suits me well. As a newcomer, I should be able to win many consecutive battles in the early stages and earn some star points. Yi Tian thought. Immediately, he researched many details about the Combat Power Tower and, after gaining enough understanding, went to a nearby Combat Power Tower and bought a virtual world helmet. The challenges in the Combat Power Tower took place in a virtual world, and the virtual world of Silver Universe Star was even more advanced than that of Earth, almost indistinguishable from the real world. The hotel. Yi Tian put on the virtual world helmet, and his consciousness entered the virtual world. Next, he registered an account. Still using his title from Earth, Heavenly Emperor of 10,000 Laws, he filled in some basic information and chose to apply for Emperor-level combat challenges. Character: Heavenly Emperor of 10,000 Laws, record: 0 wins, 0 losses. The first challenge is about to begin, randomly selecting opponent Ding, mischievous little demoness selected. Waiting for the opponent's agreement. The record of mischievous little demoness was also transmitted to Yi Tian. Character: Mischievous little demoness, record: 10 wins, 0 losses. A newcomer as well, makes sense. As a newcomer, my first match wouldn't be against a high-record opponent, Yi Tian thought. However, what he didn't know was that a newcomer who could achieve 10 consecutive victories was no ordinary newcomer, otherwise, they wouldn't have managed a 10-win streak. Qinfeng Giant City, somewhere. A sweet-looking woman felt the call of the virtual world and logged on. If one did not log on within 10 minutes, the challenge would be automatically forfeited, which was a common situation for many busy martial warriors who often couldn't enter the virtual world. Ding! The woman logged on and found a random challenge message. Heavenly Emperor of 10,000 Laws. That's quite a bold name, daring to use Heavenly Emperor in the title. 0 wins, 0 losses, so it's a newcomer. No wonder so arrogant. Humph, with such a title, sooner or later you'll be targeted, lose all your star points, and have to delete your account. With the intention of teaching the newcomer a lesson, she accepted the challenge. In fact, this account was her secondary one, used to bully newcomers occasionally, which she found quite enjoyable. Mischievous little demoness has accepted your random challenge. The challenge is about to begin. A voice echoed in Yi Tian's ear. 10 seconds later. Whoosh! Yi Tian was teleported to a desert, and not far away, a figure appeared, a beautiful woman with an impressive figure. Challenge begins. As the words fell, the mischievous little demoness charged over, her speed incredibly fast. Her sword seemed to pierce through space. She was a swordsman. Spatial confinement. Boom. The surrounding space was confined by Yi Tian, exerting a strong pressure on mischievous little demoness. Then, Yi Tian also went all out. God-level strength talent. Innate sword body, extreme speed talent, mystic level defense talent, god level iron armor talent, god level claw technique, great tearing divine claw. Numerous talents were displayed one after another. Whoosh! The great tearing divine claw reached out, seemingly grasping the space in front of him. Damn, 9-star Emperor level. Mischievous little demoness was shocked. This wasn't just a newcomer, but a 9-star Emperor. In Qinfeng Giant City, although a 9-star Emperor wasn't anything extraordinary, it was still rare. Within the Emperor level, 9-star Emperors definitely belonged to the top tier, hence sovereign emperors were elusive and such prodigies rare. freewebnovel.com. She had intended to bully a newcomer, to teach them a lesson, but unexpectedly encountered a 9-star Emperor level. She was only an 8-star Emperor level, how could she win against him? Oh no, my 10-win streak. Mischievous little demoness screamed in despair inside. Leave some feedback in my Discord. Web links. Please consider reading at Chapter 297, Huge Profits. Approaching 20 consecutive wins. TL, Yu Yong. PR. Etude. As Yi Tian was about to instantaneously defeat the mischievous little demoness, he was less than 100 meters away from her. Instinctively, he checked her talent status. Human, Qin Zixuan. Cultivation talent, Supreme. Strength talent, Mystic. Speed talent, Mystic. Defense talent, Mystic. Swordsmanship talent, Moonlight. A series of talents appeared before Yi Tian's eyes. Supreme cultivation talent. Yi Tian was overjoyed. He knew that the virtual world of Qinfeng Giant City allowed the checking of talent status as soon as he entered, but he didn't expect his first opponent to be a possessor of supreme cultivation talent. Such luck was too good. Judging from Qin Zixuan's talents, she had the potential to become a 9-star emperor. However, her cultivation wasn't very high, having only broken through the 13th physical limit, and without cultivating a god-level sword technique. Her combat ability was still at the level of an 8-star emperor, and not a particularly strong one at that. That was why she was so much weaker than Yi Tian. Regarding Qin Zixuan's other talents, Yi Tian had no interest, but he was very interested in the supreme cultivation talent. Copy supreme cultivation talent. With a thought, the copy was successful, and Yi Tian revealed a smile. However, this slight smile had a different meaning in Qin Zixuan's eyes. He's laughing. Qin Zixuan was stunned. Then, her body was obliterated by Yi Tian's great tearing divine claw. Boom. Her virtual body annihilated, Qin Zixuan's soul consciousness left the virtual world and returned to her original body. As soon as she returned, she was furious. Damn it, he killed me and even laughed. Is he mocking my weak strength? Qin Zixuan was very annoyed. She was an 8-star emperor in combat strength, only 35 years old this year. Reaching the 8-star emperor level at such an age was definitely a genius among geniuses, and she could certainly become a 9-star emperor in a few years. But now, some unknown old guy dared to belittle her. HMPH, don't let me find you, or else. Qin Zixuan cursed Yi Tian inwardly for a long time, but Yi Tian was unaware of all this. Congratulations on your first victory, you have earned 100 star points. 100 star points were nothing to Yi Tian, but he was still very excited, as he had copied a supreme cultivation talent. As his consciousness returned, Yi Tian couldn't wait to integrate this supreme cultivation talent. Boom, the integration began, and after some pain, Yi Tian successfully integrated this supreme cultivation talent. However, the talent did not undergo any transformation and remained a supreme cultivation talent. But Yi Tian already felt his supreme cultivation talent was close to reaching the pinnacle. Integrating another supreme cultivation talent would definitely transform it to the next level of talent. The battle tower is really great, not only can I earn star points, but I can also copy talents, continue the challenge. Yi Tian put on the virtual helmet and continued the challenge. His second opponent was a relatively weaker emperor, not even reaching the level of a 1-star emperor, and was instantly killed by Yi Tian. Soon, Yi Tian's record skyrocketed. 3 consecutive wins. 4 consecutive wins. 5 consecutive wins. 6 consecutive wins. 7 consecutive wins. Finally, Yi Tian achieved 9 consecutive wins, with the 9th win earning him 25,600 star points. Earning 25,600 star points so easily, the speed of making money was incredibly fast. But such a way of making money was full of risks. Yi Tian had been winning continuously. If he lost once, all the star points he had earned would be lost, as the bet for the 10th challenge was 51,200 star points. In this view, winning streaks seemed quite unfair. If one kept winning and then suddenly lost, all the star points accumulated would be lost at once. What then is the point of a winning streak? However, in reality, the stakes could be adjusted. The 51,200 star points for the 10th challenge was the maximum bet amount. If Yi Tian wanted to, he could have set it to 10,000 star points. If not modified, the default would be 51,200 star points. Yi Tian, aiming for quick earnings, naturally wouldn't adjust the betting amount, being only at 9 consecutive wins. Moreover, once the 10th consecutive win was achieved, things would change. Once the 10th consecutive win is secured, not only can one get a reward of 51,200 points, but also a share of the ticket sales. Because once 10 consecutive wins was achieved, others can spectate the battles, which requires a fee. Half of this fee goes to the winner. If the winner loses, then the reward goes to the virtual world. Of course, this required some fame. If one wasn't famous, who would come to watch? For instance, Qin Zixuan, whom Yi Tian first encountered, probably used a secondary account, as there were no spectators. If a very famous emperor-level powerhouse undertook a winning streak challenge, there would definitely be a large audience, and the ticket revenue could even surpass the stakes. In the later stages, ticket revenue was a real income source for a strong fighter. However, Yi Tian was a newcomer in Qinfeng Giant City and had no reputation. Therefore he couldn't expect too much and should be happy with earning some betting stakes. The 10th challenge. The virtual world chose for Yi Tian an emperor-level fighter with decent records. Character: Emperor Fenghuang. Record: 8,621 wins, 62 losses. From the record, it's clear that Emperor Fenghuang is quite strong, but his exact level of emperor grade is unknown. The virtual world of Qinfeng Giant City doesn't reveal the opponent's combat power, one can only know their true strength through battle. Soon, the 10th challenge began. Whoosh! Above a forest. Yi Tian and Emperor Fenghuang appeared at the same time. Emperor Fenghuang was a rugged-looking man with well-developed muscles, dressed in battle armor, wielding a blade. Kill! Emperor Fenghuang made his move, displaying the strength of an 8-star emperor. Just barely an 8-star emperor, and I thought he would be strong. Yi Tian was somewhat disappointed and immediately used spatial confinement, followed by a claw strike that obliterated his opponent. The process was too easy. 10 consecutive wins completed. In the following days, Yi Tian challenged frenziedly every day, but as some opponents didn't accept the challenge, he couldn't fight many battles in a day, and it took a long time to find a real opponent. Even so, on the 3rd day, he achieved 19 consecutive wins and was about to reach the 20th. By this time, Yi Tian had earned tens of millions of star points. To a real tycoon, tens of millions of star points might be nothing, but for Yi Tian, it was a huge sum. For the 20th challenge, Yi Tian still set the highest bet, reaching over 50 million star points. He was randomly matched with an emperor-level powerhouse, nicknamed Barbie Doll, who agreed to the challenge. But Yi Tian hesitated. The opponent agreed to a 10 million star point challenge. If Yi Tian disagreed, he could change the opponent, but if he agreed, the bet would be 10 million star points. Forget it, let's agree. If we keep doubling like this, the stakes will reach the sky. Yi Tian thought. So, he agreed. The 20th challenge began. But at this moment, a notification from the virtual world arrived. Heavenly Emperor of 10,000 Laws, as you are about to undertake your 20th consecutive win challenge, the virtual world can offer you a free promotion. There will be many spectators coming to watch. Do you accept the virtual world's promotion? If you accept the promotion, the challenge will be delayed by 1 day. Seeing this notification, Yi Tian thought for a moment and agreed. If he wanted to quickly increase his strength, staying low profile wouldn't work. If he gained fame, opportunities might come to him automatically. If he remained unknown, even if great opportunities emerged, he wouldn't hear of them. Moreover, if the virtual world promoted it, there would definitely be many martial warriors watching, and the ticket revenue could be substantial. Earning both money and fame, why not? After Yi Tian agreed, a notice appeared on the virtual world's public platform. The Heavenly Emperor of 10,000 Laws' 20th consecutive win challenge will take place tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. Challenger: Barbie Doll. Leave some feedback in my Discord. Web links. Please consider reading at Chapter 298. Qin Zixuan's Gamble, Yi Tian places a bet. TL. Yuyong. PR. Etude. The announcement of a 20-win streak challenge attracted much attention, but not for Yi Tian, as most people didn't recognize him. Despite his strength, he had few fans, so who would pay attention to him? However, Barbie Doll caught many people's eye because she was famous. As the granddaughter of a true god and having just reached the 9-star emperor level, she naturally had many admirers and fans in Qinfeng Giant City. Barbie Doll seldom took on challenges in the virtual world. Even if she participated, with her track record, she rarely matched up with weaker emperors. In sparring with stronger emperors, she had both wins and losses. If she didn't achieve 10 consecutive wins, others couldn't even spectate her battles. But this time, although it wasn't Barbie doll's winning streak challenge, people could still see her fight in Yi Tian's 20-win streak challenge. Suddenly, many people bought tickets. And the price of a ticket was not cheap, costing a whopping 100 star points, with better seats even more expensive. In Qinfeng Giant City, within a tower, a woman in green emerged from the virtual world, muttering to herself, "Heavenly Emperor of 10,000 laws, on his 20th win streak. Why has the opponent only fought 19 battles? Could it be someone's alternate account? No matter, I've recently had a falling out with Grandpa. And without a source of income, and with the high cost of cultivation, it's a good opportunity to challenge the other party. If I win, I could earn 10 million star points, which is enough for a while." The woman in green chuckled. She was Barbie doll, whose real name was Lu Qingyi, also known as the Empress in Green. Qingyi means green clothes. Suddenly, a voice rang out, "Qingyi, I'm here." As the words fell, a woman appeared at her door. Click, the door opened, and a woman came into Lu Qingyi's view. "Zixuan, why are you here?" It was her good friend, Qin Zixuan. Qin Zixuan's background was not simple, being the granddaughter of the lord of Qinfeng Giant City, holding a higher status than her. Qin Zixuan entered and said, "Qingyi, did you challenge someone named Heavenly Emperor of 10,000 laws?" Yes. Lu Qingyi wasn't surprised that Qin Zixuan knew about the challenge, as the virtual world had just announced it, and Qin Zixuan might have just seen it. "Qingyi, that guy is not simple. He's a 9-star emperor, but he should be no match for you. You must teach him a lesson and make him suffer a heavy loss. Otherwise, if you lose, not only will he win your money, but he will also earn from ticket sales, making it too easy for him." Qin Zixuan said indignantly. Lu Qingyi was puzzled. "Zixuan, do you know the Heavenly Emperor of 10,000 laws? Did he offend you?" "Of course, he offended me." Qin Zixuan recalled the past incident, anger resurfacing. "His first battle was against my alternate account. I intended to guide him, but he killed me in one move, using his claws to explode me, and even mocked me mercilessly. I've never been so embarrassed. Qingyi, you must avenge me." Lu Qingyi said gravely, "Zixuan, as you said, that person is a 9-star emperor level, and I am also at the same level. It won't be easy to defeat him." Qin Zixuan quickly said, "Qingyi, that guy only reached 9-star emperor level due to his spatial talent. Your ultimate green hand can ignore spatial attacks and suppress him. His spatial talent won't work on you, and you can definitely kill him. Also, you're short on money recently, right? I can set up a betting pool, and if you win, I'll share half with you." "Alright, I'll give it my all," Lu Qingyi said, biting her lip. "Remember, his claw technique is a god-level skill. You must not let him get close. At the start of the challenge, use the ultimate green hand to kill him immediately." Qin Zixuan reminded again. At this time, Yi Tian was unaware that he was being targeted by two women, as he was researching Barbie doll's information. Although the Yuan Force Network didn't have more secretive information, just common knowledge, it still had some basic information about Barbie doll. Lu Qingyi, known as the Empress in Green, a 9-star emperor. Yi Tian became somewhat solemn. A 9-star emperor was not weak, and being at the same level as him, it wouldn't be easy to win against a 9-star emperor. However, from the little information leaked online, it was evident that Lu Qingyi was not a peak 9-star emperor, but merely an ordinary 9-star emperor. Therefore, Yi Tian had a high chance of winning. Afterward, Yi Tian entered the virtual world again, wanting to check the public comments section for any information about his 20-win streak challenge. As soon as he entered the comments section, he was stunned. There were many comments about this battle, but upon delving into them, he was somewhat confused. It seemed that the discussions were mostly about Barbie doll, Lu Qingyi, with only a few mentions of his name. Even those were only in comparison to Barbie doll. In short, his fame was minuscule compared to Barbie doll's resounding reputation. This is good, Barbie doll's fame is loud, and many martial warriors will surely watch the battle. Once I win, I can earn a lot of money from ticket sales. Yi Tian chuckled. Suddenly, he saw a post about a betting pool for his battle with Lu Qingyi. Gambling in the virtual world was permitted, but not everyone had the authority to open a betting pool. It required certain permissions, which Yi Tian's account did not have. Without a doubt, the person who opened the betting pool was not ordinary. Qin Zixuan. Yi Tian was shocked when he saw the name of the person who opened the betting pool. Wasn't she the first person he challenged when he entered the virtual world? He browsed through the betting pool post and quickly learned about Qin Zixuan's background. She's the granddaughter of the Lord of Qinfeng Giant City. The Lord of Qinfeng Giant City was an extraordinary figure, a powerhouse beyond the level of a true god and the undisputed ruler of Qinfeng Giant City. Even in the Silver Universe Star, he was considered a strong character. What Yi Tian found particularly coincidental was that Qin Zixuan and Lu Qingyi seemed to be best friends, with a very close relationship. What a coincidence. Coincidence. Regardless, I've offended her, so be it. Once I win this battle, I'll make a huge profit. Yi Tian made his decision. After this battle, he planned to copy another supreme-level cultivation talent and then merge it into a higher-level cultivation talent. He would then purchase some precious resources, go into closed-door cultivation, and strive to break through the 12th physical limit. Right, I can also bet on myself winning. Currently, my odds are 1 to 3, while the opponents are 1 to 0.5. That means if I bet 40 million star points on myself and win, I can earn 120 million star points. Yi Tian calculated. 120 million might not be much for the wealthy, but for Yi Tian, it was a huge sum. Moreover, in the Silver Universe Star, the purchasing power of star points was much stronger than that of yuan chi stones on Earth. For example, something worth 10 star points in the Silver Universe Star might sell for 100 star points on Earth. Because things rare on Earth were common and less valuable in the Silver Universe Star. Therefore, 120 million star points in the Silver Universe Star could buy many valuable items. It was not a small amount. Then I'll bet 40 million star points. Yi Tian decided to bet on himself. Regardless of how the odds might change later, when he placed his bet, the odds were 1-3. Even if the odds changed later, it would not affect his betting odds. Such was the nature of betting in the virtual world. Such betting pools were easy to make huge profits from but also easy to incur losses. For this reason, few people opened betting pools. After placing his bet, Yi Tian left the virtual world to rest for the night. In the blink of an eye, a night passed. The next day, the highly anticipated 20-win streak challenge was about to begin. Leave some feedback in my Discord. Web links. Please consider reading at Chapter 299, Left Claw Technique, Right Sword Technique, Dominating Lu Qingyi. TL, Yuyong. PR, Etude. At 7:50 a.m., Yi Tian arrived in the virtual world, waiting for the teleportation of the virtual world. At this time, the virtual world had already opened its battle arena. Countless seats appeared around it, with audience members arriving in the stands. In no time, tens of thousands of spectators had gathered. For many in the audience, a mere 100 star points was not much to watch Lu Qingyi's battle, which was absolutely worth it. 8 o'clock sharp, Yi Tian and Lu Qingyi were both teleported to the competition arena, which was a large fighting platform. It was covered by powerful defensive arrays around it to prevent the battle from affecting the audience in the stands. Although no one would die in the virtual world, if the audience was affected, it could impact the viewing experience. On the fighting platform, Yi Tian's gaze was fixed on Lu Qingyi, who had an excellent figure and a very delicate face, truly like a Barbie doll from an anime. If it weren't for Yi Tian's relationship with Empress Yu, he would indeed be moved by such a beauty. Now, he simply appreciated her, without any other feelings. In the audience stands, Qin Zixuan shouted loudly, "Qingyi, kill this guy." Qin Zixuan's words drew a lot of attention, and many turned to look. Wow, it's Miss Zixuan. It's really Miss Zixuan, she's also here to watch the battle. Miss Zixuan and Empress Qingyi are good friends. Miss Zixuan even opened a betting pool, it's only normal for her to watch the battle. To see both Miss Zixuan and Empress Qingyi at the same time, this ticket was absolutely worth it. Let's cheer for Empress Qingyi. Yes, Empress Qingyi will win. Empress Qingyi will win. Empress Qingyi will win. The shouting in the audience stands covered the earth and sky. Luckily, Yi Tian couldn't hear the noise from the stands, or he would really been a bit depressed. Challenge begins. The voice of the virtual world descended. Spatial confinement. Yi Tian immediately unfolded his spatial talent. At this moment, Lu Qingyi extended a hand, emitting a green light, and fiercely struck a palm through the air. Boom! The space was penetrated, the spatial confinement unable to restrain this move. The opponent's technique seemed to ignore space itself, directly descending upon Yi Tian. Teleportation, Mystic-level defensive talent. God-level iron armor talent. Mystic-level diamond bone talent. One after another, talents were used, boosting Yi Tian's defensive capabilities by many times. Even so, A 9-star attack landed on Yi Tian, still sending him flying. Instantly, Yi Tian's layers of defense were broken. Though he ultimately defended himself, his internal organs were shaken and cracked. The injury was not light. Life talent, healing talent, 2 recovery-type talents activated, and the injury healed in the blink of an eye. I was careless. The opponent is a 9-star emperor, and that palm technique seemed to counter spatial confinement. If it wasn't for my strong defense and timely teleportation to dodge part of the attack, I would have been seriously injured. Yi Tian thought to himself. Lu Qingyi failed to seriously injure Yi Tian in one hit, and was momentarily stunned. She thought a hit would seriously injure Yi Tian and quickly end the battle. But now, she lost the initiative. Facing a spatial talent wielder, if she couldn't defeat him by surprise, it would be difficult later on. Swish! Yi Tian instantly shifted over, attacking with the God-level claw technique Great Tearing Divine Claw, combined with the God-level strength talent. Green cloud cover. Lu Qingyi raised her palm to the sky, using a defensive palm technique, and met Yi Tian's attack with a mystic-level defensive talent. With a loud boom, Lu Qingyi was sent flying, but was not injured. Though the blow failed to hurt Lu Qingyi, not only was Yi Tian not disappointed, but he couldn't help but get excited. Although he didn't have a smile on his face, he couldn't hide the smile that was in his eyes. Haha, I have actually copied a second supreme cultivation talent. Yi Tian laughed wildly in his heart. Just now, he used the copy talent to check Lu Qingyi's talents. Human, Lu Qingyi, cultivation talent, supreme, strength talent, mystic, speed talent, mystic, defense talent, mystic, palm technique talent, moonlight. When he discovered that Lu Qingyi also possessed a supreme cultivation talent, he didn't hesitate to copy her supreme cultivation talent with a single thought. What is he so happy about? Lu Qingyi was very puzzled. She could see that Yi Tian was now very excited, as if he had won, even though Yi Tian's attack just now clearly didn't affect her at all. Weird person, that's how Lu Qingyi evaluated him. The battle continued. Boom boom boom. On the competition stage, the fierce battle between the two was intense, but after a long fight, there was still no winner. Yi Tian possessed a space talent, allowing him to teleport, and had both mystic-level life talent and pseudo-mystic-level healing talent, so even if he was injured, he could easily recover. As for Lu Qingyi, her combat strength also was not weak. With her defensive palm techniques and her own mystic-level defense talent, she could withstand Yi Tian's attacks without getting hurt. Thus, neither of them had an advantage over the other. If I use my time talent, I should be able to defeat her quickly. Yi Tian thought, but he didn't dare to use his time talent here. Once the time talent was exposed, it would be troublesome. Space talents were still commonly seen, but he had not heard of anyone having time talents to date. So, unless it was absolutely necessary, he wouldn't reveal his time talent. Soul attack talent probably won't be useful, as with Lu Qingyi's status, she should be able to purchase soul treasures. Soul treasures can enter the virtual world, so they can block soul attacks. Revealing soul talent would also be unlikely to secure victory. After some thought, Yi Tian decided to reveal his god-level sword technique, Starry Sky Annihilation. Starry Sky Annihilation was more difficult to defend against than the Great Tearing Divine Claw, and it could be used together with it, the Great Tearing Divine Claw in the left hand, and Starry Sky Annihilation in the right hand. If he caught her off guard, he could even cause Lu Qingyi serious injuries. After planning, Yi Tian unleashed the Great Tearing Divine Claw with his left hand, attacking Lu Qingyi. Lu Qingyi protected herself with the palm technique Green Cloud Cover, blocking the strike. Immediately after, Yi Tian's right hand manifested a sword. Starry Sky Annihilation. With a slash, the starry sky shattered. Boom! Space fractured inch by inch, and the terrifying power permeated the entire arena. Not good. The green cloud cover disappeared, and unable to deploy it again, Lu Qingyi's expression changed. Of course, she had more than just the green cloud cover and defense talent for protection. Green scales. Layers of yuan qi turned into green scales covering her whole body. This was a special yuan qi body protection technique, unknown on Earth and even rare in the Silver Universe star. This defensive technique, sacrificing a large amount of yuan qi, temporarily formed a strong defense, many times more powerful than a simple yuan qi body shield. But this method of defense was still not as strong as Green Cloud Cover. freewebnovel.com. Boom! Lu Qingyi's body was hit by layers of spatial fragments, and many green scales shattered, turning into nothingness. Her body was penetrated several times but ultimately defended successfully. She also had top-level healing talent and was using it to quickly recover from her injuries. But Yi Tian didn't give her time to recover, attacking again with a teleport. Bang bang bang. Lu Qingyi was knocked back time and time again, with drops of blood scattering in the air, looking very tragic. And Yi Tian showed no mercy, attacking Lu Qingyi relentlessly. Watching Lu Qingyi being so brutally treated, many of her fans went crazy, cursing at Yi Tian. Are you even a man, daring to treat our Empress Qingyi like this? Heavenly Emperor of 10,000 laws, let's have a one-on-one duel. Spare our Empress Qingyi. Heavenly Emperor of 10,000 laws, stop, you are provoking public anger. My god, our Empress Qingyi is being beaten like this, who can stop him? Even some rash martial warriors tried to rush onto the stage, but were stopped by the protective barrier and then moved out of the virtual world, losing their audience privilege. In the spectator seats, Qin Zixuan's eyes widened. This guy is so powerful. Not only does he have moonlight-level claw talent, but also moonlight-level sword talent, practicing both simultaneously and mastering both god-level claw and sword techniques. How did he cultivate? Leave some feedback in my Discord. Web links. Please consider reading at Chapter 300. Desolate level cultivation talent, breaking through the 12th physical limit. TL. Yu Yong. PR. Etude. Qin Zixuan herself possessed moonlight-level swordsmanship talent, yet she has not mastered a god-level sword technique to date. This was due to her relatively low sword Dao realm, far from sufficient to cultivate a god-level technique. Her limited progress in the sword Dao realm was attributed to her young age and short amount of cultivation. However, Qin Zixuan had access to resources beyond the imagination of ordinary martial warriors, including an abundance of treasures that enhanced comprehension. She never had to worry about improving her understanding. Still, she had yet to master a god-level sword technique. Hence, cultivating a god-level technique, whether it be a claw or sword technique, was incredibly challenging. Yet, Yi Tian has managed to do so. Worrying about him is useless now. Qingyi was careless earlier and suffered severe injuries, now completely at a disadvantage. What should we do? Qin Zixuan grew anxious. If Yi Tian wins, not only would Qingyi lose face, but she would also lose 10 million star points. Given the odds, there were quite a few bets on Yi Tian. If Qingyi wins, she could make a small profit, but if Yi Tian wins, her loss would be substantial. Moreover, Yi Tian stood to win Qingyi's 10 million and a substantial amount from ticket sales. Qingyi, fight back, turn the tables in this dire situation. Qin Zixuan shouted in support. But no miracle occurred. In less than a minute, Lu Qingyi was slain by Yi Tian and vanished from the virtual world. Lu Qingyi was defeated. I'm ruined, I'm going to lose at least 1 billion. Qin Zixuan was on the verge of tears. She had hoped to make a small profit by raising the odds for Yi Tian, attracting more bets on him, but it backfired. Had she known, she might have lowered Yi Tian's odds and possibly made a profit. Regret. Elsewhere, Lu Qingyi was also frustrated, having lost her last 10 million star points. Without star points, she couldn't even qualify for random challenges. Previously, 10 million star points were mere pocket change to her, and she wouldn't have cared about losing them. But now, with her relationship with her grandfather strained and her accounts frozen, leaving her with only 10 million star points. Losing them hit hard. I wonder if Zixuan lost the bets. Lu Qingyi pondered. If Zixuan had profited, she could borrow some money from her and repay it later. Entering the virtual world, Lu Qingyi contacted Qin Zixuan and quickly connected. Zixuan, did you win the bets? Lu Qingyi asked. Qin Zixuan replied tearfully, Qingyi, would you believe I lost 1 billion? Lu Qingyi was stunned. 1 billion, even if her account hadn't been frozen, losing 1 billion would have pained her for a long time. Borrow money? Forget it. Borrowing from Qin Zixuan, who just lost 1 billion, would be asking for trouble. Ah, I'll have to figure something out on my own, Qin Zixuan thought. I won. Yi Tian was ecstatic. After achieving 20 consecutive victories, the 10 million star points Qin Zixuan lost were immediately transferred to his account, followed by the ticket sales. This time, the total ticket sales reached 200 million, of which he received 100 million as his share. Additionally, having bet 40 million star coins, he now just had to wait for the 120 million to be transferred to him. Judging by the odds, Qin Zixuan must have suffered a huge loss. Ha ha ha, serves her right for setting my odds so high. Yi Tian gloated. Now, he had an even more important task. To merge with the supreme level cultivation talent. If I merge with Lu Qingyi's supreme level cultivation talent, my talent will surely surpass that of the supreme level. Yi Tian was confident. Thus, he began the merging process. Boom! An unimaginable agony struck, drenching his entire body in sweat. His body began to roll, his eyes back, his skin feeling as if it was being roasted in the sun at billions of degrees, turning red all over. After a grueling half hour, Yi Tian's body temperature finally dropped back to normal, slowly recovering. So tired, yet so satisfying. Yi Tian murmured softly. Unknowingly, he drifted off to sleep. A night passed, and Yi Tian woke up. First thing, he checked his talent status. Immediately, he noticed a change in his cultivation talent. Cultivation talent. Desolate level. Previously, his talent was at the supreme level, but now it had advanced to desolate level. Clearly, desolate level was a grade above the supreme level. Let's test the cultivation effect. Yi Tian began absorbing yuan qi to temper his body, comparing the results with his previous efforts. Hours passed. 6 times the effect. Yi Tian was overjoyed. Merely using yuan qi to temper his body, the effect was 6-fold compared to before. With the aid of various auxiliary treasures, the effect could perhaps exceed 6 times. Leaving Earth was indeed the right decision. If I hadn't, who knows how long it would have taken me to elevate my cultivation talent to desolate level. Going to Silver Universe Star was certainly my wisest choice. Yi Tian exclaimed gratefully. A day passed, and the winnings from the bet hadn't arrived. 2 days went by, still no bet winnings. It wasn't until the 3rd day that the bet finally reached Yi Tian's account. Obviously, it took the other party 3 days to gather the funds to cover their losses. With nearly 300 million star points in his possession, Yi Tian was now quite wealthy. Immediately, he purchased a property, spending about 30 million star coins on a small villa located by a river in Qinfeng Giant City. The scenery was nice, although a bit far from the city center. However, Yi Tian had no plans to reside permanently in Qinfeng Giant City, so there was no need to buy a villa in a prime location, which would have been a waste of money. After buying the villa, Yi Tian went to the trade tower and acquired several treasures. One was an earth element treasure, breath soil, valuable for assisting mystic level earth element talents in body tempering, priced at 5.2 million star points. He also bought a 5-fold weak water worth 90 million star points, far superior to the previously owned 3-fold weak water. Lastly, Yi Tian purchased a dawn-level sword, valued at 100 million star points. This weapon was sure to significantly enhance his strength. Despite its high price, he decided to buy it. In total, he spent 252 million star points, leaving him with only a few tens of millions. In the following days, Yi Tian began his secluded cultivation. With his desolate level cultivation talent, along with breath soil and 5-fold weak water, plus a 10-fold time acceleration, his cultivation speed was unimaginably faster than before. He calculated that he only needed a month to break through the 12th physical limit. Focus on cultivation, break through the 12th physical limit in a month. Yi Tian resolved firmly. Days passed, and in the blink of an eye, a month went by. On this day, Yi Tian was using the yuan qi from the breath soil to temper his body. The breath soil was much depleted, now only the size of a thumb. I've reached the limit, now it's time to break through the 12th physical limit. Yi Tian murmured. He immediately swallowed the remaining breath soil and frantically absorbed its energy, aiming to break through the 12th physical limit. Boom! There was a loud explosion inside his body, and Yi Tian easily broke through the 12th physical limit. Then, the remaining energy of the breath soil acted as the needed power for his body's transformation. Soon, the breath soil was completely consumed. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Countless yuan qi stones emerged. These were the yuan qi stones he had recently purchased, totaling 5 million. Yi Tian rapidly absorbed all 5 million yuan qi stones. Combined with the morning star level cultivation room in the villa, which contained abundant yuan qi, he barely managed to meet the needs of his body's transformation. After a long time, Yi Tian's body transformation was complete. He had successfully broken through the 12th physical limit, significantly increasing his strength. Leave some feedback in my Discord. Web links. Please consider reading at